Going to play you some Hello Hopeless while we get this show on the road. And that, my friends, is what you call a Tim Hortons creamy chill. It's going to make some room for all my fucking beverages here. And this, my friends, is a double Stormio out of my Nespresso machine. That one's called Stormio. I know I've consumed Stormio live before on this show. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna get the lights fucking fixed up here. All right. First things first, we are going to get some unboxing action done, and we're gonna play some Hello Hopeless. Hopefully this sounds good. This is fucking great, man. Hello Hopeless. This band is fucking great. Being very careful how I open this. Hello Hopeless, ladies and gentlemen. This is a great band out of Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario. Okay. I can see what's in here. Give me a second here. I'm just inviting some people. Okay. We have some comments. No, Rob, it is pronounced. Well, I don't know if my comment is going to show up, but it's spelled Stormio. M-I-O. M-I-O. There, we can do it like that. That's how it's spelled. I'm just waiting to see if anybody's. I invited a couple of people to join me, and I'm just waiting to see if they show up. You don't mind listening to this tune? Oh, do you like my new lighting? Ah, there's my buddy. You said it, man. I'm not sure if anybody is joining my invite. I kind of wanted to wait. This is Hello Hopeless. You know what? I'm going to put that on a banner. It's called Dark Past, Brighter Futures. Check that. Yes. All right, well, I guess we'll get on with it. Nobody seems to have accepted my invites to join. So, no surprise here. This is what I ordered a week ago. It has finally come, the new Deep Purple, called Whoosh. I don't know if I need more light there. You know what? I'm just struggling a little bit with my setup at the start here. Let's get the struggle out of the way. This is called, it's really not very bright, but Whoosh is the name of the new Deep Purple. Whoosh! Sorry, Hello Hopeless. It's time for me to talk. So it says here on this front sticker that this is the new Deep Purple studio album for 2020. Limited box set, but it does not appear to be numbered. It includes 2 LP gatefold, a CD, and a DVD limited edition featuring the Hellfest 2017 show, which is the first time it's been released on DVD. It also includes 3 10-inch vinyls, the Infinite Live Recordings Volume 2, which is all previously unreleased. I believe Volume 1, I get really confused when it comes to all these Deep Purple live releases of recent years. But, Volume 1's somewhere in my collection. And it also includes an exclusive Deep Purple Collector's t-shirt and 3 art prints. So let's get this baby opened up and take a look inside. You see the back cover is quite nice, and it shows the 3 10-inch vinyls. They were colored last time as well. Maybe what I will do here is just very quickly go on my website and show you the colored vinyls from the Infinite album. Infinite was the name of, or Infinite perhaps, was the name of the album. And I'm just getting a nice picture here. Yeah, okay. I'll get you a screenshot of what I'm looking at right here, and you can get an idea of the last time they did this deal. Sorry for all the clicking. And I didn't want to do it this way. There we go. Okay, so there is the prior Deep Purple Deluxe Edition. The Now What Live Tapes Volume 2. You can see it had a white, a clear, and a blue vinyl. And I was very happy with this. It's basically like having an additional double live album in your collection. And yeah, so that was the last time. This time we have, looks like a purple, pink, and white vinyl. But let's find out. Let's take a look inside. Let us take a look inside, shall we? Being very, very careful here. Just gonna, there we go. Just wanted to get a little start on the plastic. Just a start before we rip it off. I'm very happy to have this. You know, everybody was asking me, what do you think about the new Deep Purple? And truth is, I hadn't listened to it yet because I didn't have it yet. And I don't like to listen to an album until I have it in my hands. I'm just old-fashioned that way. That's all there is to it. I'm just old-fashioned. Let's see if we can get the laser light effect on the Deep Purple whoosh. No, can't do it. Okay, so here's the t-shirt, which I will never wear because I consider it to be a part of the box set. And as you can see, it's the astronaut graphic. Quite nice. Deep purple along the side. Quite nice. Yeah. I would wear it, but I'm not gonna. Because I truly do consider items like this to be a part of the box set. If I were to buy a box set, this Deep Purple box set off of you used, I would want it with all, you know, I'm never going to get this folded properly. I would want it with all the goodies intact, you know. Here's the CD DVD, and I believe this is probably the same one that's at retail. Interestingly enough, it looks like the album takes place in Act 1 and Act 2 with a bonus track, Dancing in My Sleep. The DVD has an interview with Roger Glover and producer Bob Ezrin and that Deep Purple Live at Hellfest show. There's the 2 discs. in a book style case with lots of liner notes and good stuff. I think that is just standard retail fare. Just going to move some things here so I can have some space to put this stuff down. Okay, so t-shirt aside, CD, DVD aside, these would be the 3 10-inch vinyl records. You are seeing them for the first time, the same time that I am. Very nice. Track listing. Highway Star, Pictures of Home, Bloodsucker. Fuck, I love Bloodsucker. Strange Kind of Woman, Don Airey organ solo. Lazy, Birds of Prey. Oh my God, Don Airey has another solo. Don Airey keyboard solo. Perfect Stranger, singular. Misprint? Interesting. Space Truckin', Smoke on the Water, and Hush mixed in with the Peter Gunn theme, which I've heard them do before. It's quite good. Or have I? They used to do it. They did it with Green Onions, I think, on the previous tour. Here are some other goodies. A little Deep Purple thingamajig. Kind of something, I guess you could frame that. I guess. Nobody ever will, but you could. This is perhaps more frameable. I really, really love the artwork. I think it's fantastic. It reminds me very, very much of the music video for Knocking on Your Back Door with the astronauts. There's another one. These are really nice. Don't get me wrong. They're very nice. But it's just paper, you know? It's just paper. The final item in the box is going to be the 2 LP set. And I'm going to put the art prints in bottom. Oh, somebody's logging in. Hey! Hey!
What's up, dude?
Well, we were just in the middle of an unboxing. Would you like to see?
Absolutely.
Can you see that?
Whoosh, there goes all your money.
You're not even lying, man. And here's the inner gatefold.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so exciting. In 2020, with all the crap going on, Purple has a new record.
And you're gonna like this.
Okay.
It came with 3 10-inch records that make up basically what would in any other format be a double live album.
Holy crap, that's amazing.
Yeah. And it has some interesting material on here. So I have a lot of listening to do this weekend.
Oh, wow.
And this episode is brought to you by Tim Hortons Strawberry Creamy Chill.
Nice. Mine is brought to you by a dollar store pint glass full of cold water.
Well, way to throw cold water all over the show.
I'm not fancy like you city folk.
City folk also brought, because it could be a long night, a double Nespresso Stormio.
Dude. I got a no caffeine afternoon rule.
Oh, okay. I break that rule on weekends.
Oh yeah, my sleep's way better because of it.
Yeah, I can relate. I do have my vices, but I try to keep it just basically to Friday nights. You know, Friday night is kind of it's kind of the one night that I want to try to stay up. Now, your picture is coming in a little pixelated.
Cool.
I don't know how I look to you.
You look fine.
Okay. Well, you look fine as well. Don't get me wrong.
Hey, well, that's what she said.
When there's more than one of when other people join in eventually, we still got 15 minutes to go before I'm expecting Deke or Meat.
Yeah.
When other people join in eventually, our faces will all shrink down anyway, so no one will notice any pixelation.
Yeah, that's fine. That's probably better for me anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, for you looking at me.
Yes, I understand.
Hey, we're doing concerts tonight.
Yeah. So is that Rush? No, it's Tool. It's Tool.
It's Tool. But check this out. This is the 2007 show that I saw in Hamilton.
No kidding.
Yeah. Now it's not on my list, so I thought I better wear the shirt.
So it's funny when Meat came up with this idea.
Yeah.
He said, let's not do other people's lists because it's going to be a long show. And also bad news, Deke has to bail at 8:30.
Oh, I thought you said 9. Okay.
Now it's 8:30.
Well, maybe we better let Deke go first and then he can enjoy as long as he wants instead of going around.
Maybe. Incidentally, even though I said that we weren't going to do any additional lists, I have a special one.
Okay.
That's in addition, and I believe Deke is bringing in one from T-Bone.
Nice. Now, he posted one.
Yeah, I believe he's going to... I'm not sure. I think he's just going to be reading them, and then at the end, he's going to say, go to my website to read the stories.
Oh, okay, because I could swear when I logged in to post my Alice in Chains this morning, the Alice in Chains Unplugged this morning, that there was a T-Bone's thing.
Oh, you might be right.
Already posted on the blog.
Oh, you could be right.
Okay.
The plans have been up and down, and here we are.
Man, I just roll with it. I'm just happy to be here. And to quote Keith Richards, I'm just happy to be anywhere.
So I was talking to Meat a couple of hours ago, and he rifled off some names of some of his absolute all-time favorite artists.
Yeah.
And he said, you're not going to believe it, but none of these people are on my list tonight. So
that's cool.
I am expecting something way out of the box for him.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect for you. I think for me, people are going to know, they're going to expect what I say for a lot of these. For all of mine, I got the exact date except for one concert, which was not listed on set list. That one concert, I know I know the month.
Right.
And then there was another concert that didn't appear on set list, but then I found out after the fact, the reason it didn't appear on set list is because it was a private show. So I will be presenting information tonight that is brand new to the internet about a major, major, major artist and a show that nobody has any documentation of except for me.
Well, that is an exclusive and you win. I've got exact dates for all of mine except one, but I can be forgiven for that because I kind of walked into it.
Okay.
And it ended up being one of the greatest experiences. And also I have one show and I don't have a ticket stub, and Setlist gave me 2 possible dates within a year of each other.
Oh.
So I don't know.
You have to kind of guess which of the 2 years.
I don't know which one it was, but the other ones, all of them, I have exact dates. I have opening acts where I could.
A lot of mine don't have opening acts.
Oh.
Like they didn't have them.
Oh, okay. Now I actually could have 13.
Interesting.
Because I have, well, okay, I could narrow it down to 12.
Okay.
I'd have to skip Mastodon Gojira then, and that sucks.
Oh, no spoilers. No spoilers.
No, but that's the one that didn't make the list.
Oh, okay.
But that was an amazing show, right? Mastodon and Gojira together. I mean, right? But that one I was sitting on, but I've got another one that was probably formative, but I don't have enough information and there's too many questions, so I left it off.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
sorry, I'm multitasking here. I'm just sharing this link.
That's fine.
I'm just sharing the link. I've already sent the invite links out to Deke and Meat, so we're just waiting on them.
Cool. You don't have any viewers yet, do you?
Yeah, 5. 6.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, we got a new comment. Oh, look who it is.
James, happy birthday, dude.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. And for James, I have $7.
What is it with the Prozac? Is he just saying that, do you think?
I don't know. You're the one who shares a website with him. I think
don't know. I don't know if has he ever reviewed Prozac on there. I think he's just saying that.
I would have asked you that question.
Everybody, it's James' birthday. Wish James a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, James.
He's only 68. No,
I was talking to James earlier, and here's an idea I want to throw at you for just, the vague future.
Sure.
James was saying that our show kind of coincides with his eating time, so he misses a lot of it.
Oh,
but maybe we could try something midday on a weekend sometime.
Sure.
And my thinking behind that is we might be able to get like some Scott Carsons or some James McCurrys involved if we.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just I want to change up the time zone every once in a while.
Yeah.
I know that the Friday nights at 7 work good for a lot of people, in Canada and in America, and also for Harrison in Australia.
Yes.
So I've been sticking to the Friday night at 7 thing for a long time. But as you know, I've also done this on Saturdays before because I interviewed you on the phone one Saturday.
Oh, man, I remember that. Yeah.
And Rob says, happy birthday, James.
Yes.
Happy
brother. Hold on a second. I've got a fan up there. I want to turn it on. And before anybody thinks that's weird, it's an actual fan that moves air, and I'm going to turn it on. I'm not turning on a fan like a groupie or something.
Oh, that's what I was assuming.
Well, I didn't want you to, I like to be on the up and up here.
Of course.
Everything by the books.
So I couldn't. That's funny. And Frankie has a little birthday cake icon on his little.
Happy birthday, James.
So we are now. My creamy drink is in front of my clock. We have 10 minutes to go before the official showtime, but we've already got 99 viewers.
Nice. 99?
Sorry?
Or 9?
9.
Oh, I thought you said 99. I was like,
whoa. No, 99 would be a record. I think my record is about 20, but
good thing I did my hair.
Wonderful. Oh, look. We are being watched in Brazil.
I don't know. I don't speak. Is it bienvenidos?
I don't either. I can only speak one language and barely that. What was I going to say? I was about to say something. There is one more thing I wanted to do before showtime.
Mm-hmm.
And that is call my mother, because if I don't, she might miss the show.
Okay.
And she specifically wants to catch this show. So if you'll excuse me, I'll be right back with a phone.
Sure. It'll be the all singing, all dancing Aaron show until you get back. Hello, random people on the internet. I suppose you're wondering why I called this meeting. Now that Mike's away. Oh, he's back. Never mind.
I'm back.
Talking about him. Damn. We were this close, people. This close.
That's weird. Just hung up on me. Why would my mother hang up on me?
Come on, Mom.
I called half an hour ago and she was out.
Oh.
Where do you go when you're at the cottage?
The beach?
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
I was at the beach today.
Now she knows we're going live at 7. Hey, Dad, how you doing? Well, I'm live right now, and I'm just making sure that Mom's ready to watch.
Hi, Mr. LeBrain.
Oh, she's over. She's visiting the next door neighbor. Okay.
I'm not going to dance, James.
Well, I hope she's being socially distant.
Mm.
Oh, that's very nice. Oh, socially distant visit with the neighbor. That's fantastic. Oh. Well, I have to go because I am live right now, but I just wanted to make sure that Mother would be watching.
Mother.
All right, talk to you later. Okay, bye. So,
okay.
Rosanna says good evening. Rob says dance monkey dance.
Yeah, they're trying to make me dance.
Hi, Mr. Mike's dad.
I've never met your parents.
No, I know. You met Jen's mom, though.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Super nice lady.
Well, and when COVID is all over, if you're ever down Kincardine Way, you can meet my parents. Not that hey, Aaron, want to come and meet my mom and dad? I'm sure that's not like a bucket list thing, but you never know. It might be. I've talked about them enough.
It might be the other way around. Like, do you really want your parents to meet, like that's that guy?
Well, my mother is well aware of who you are because she reads my content and watches my videos and whatnot. And
I am house trained.
So allegedly. But of course she's aware of all the the Toronto videos.
Oh, of course.
Actually, Chris Sarr, who is not yet watching tonight, and I should probably message him. Chris Sarr said to me, "Hey, that Books guy, is that the guy that you go to Toronto with?"
Yeah.
So yeah. That, he recognized you.
I am the one who drags Mike all over on long hikes.
I guess next year we'll do it again.
I hope so. I bloody hope so.
Yeah.
Because, man,
I missed last year. I missed last year, but the previous year, 2018, I'm really grateful because I wasn't going to go. And Jen's mom said, "No, Mike, you can't worry about me. You have to go with your friend and have a good time." And I'm like, okay. Right. And I went. And I had a great time. And it changed the fact that I picked up that Blotto album last summer.
I remember that.
I was so excited about that. And it changed like the tone of that entire summer for me because I had to drive to Toronto and back multiple times a week. And I had that album blasting in the car almost every time. And it made me laugh. And it was a time where I needed to laugh.
Yeah. Records can be the right thing at the right time, man.
Now, Rosanna has a comment here. She loves the Cult. I wonder if the Cult will show up on any lists tonight.
Oh, I haven't seen them. No spoilers.
I have not seen them either. Even though, now, are you aware of this story that when the Cult played Kitchener?
No.
They had an opening act.
Okay.
A little band called Guns N' Roses.
Baby Axel.
Yeah. And, of course, that tour is where Guns N' Roses met the drummer, Matt Sorum.
Oh, no.
And, of course, Matt Sorum ended up in Guns N' Roses in 1991. Probably 1990 he joined, I would think.
It was before you were leaving. Hello, Kevin.
Now, last week,
if you're watching too.
Last week I pronounced his name wrong. I kept on pronouncing it. I kept on pronouncing it Simister, but it's Simister.
Yeah. Just think of it as they're very sinister, like they're Sinister or something. Yeah.
But my good friend,
they're not.
Chris Sarr, said to me in a private message, he goes, "I like the way you pronounce it better."
Well, he'll have to talk to them.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to see Chris. Chris, unfortunately, has had issues running out of data, so he's had to bail on our stream 2 or 3 times. But informed me today he's just gotten more data.
Nice. Or somewhere with free Wi-Fi.
Sorry?
Or go somewhere with free Wi-Fi.
Hey, finally. Mom, we were just talking about how you've never met Aaron. But if Aaron ever makes it down to Kincardine, then maybe he can meet you.
Over.
Yeah, I guess it's over more than... All I know is when I'm driving to the cottage, right outside of Kincardine, there's a sign that says Owen Sound, 100 kilometers. And then I just get this sinking feeling in my chest like, oh, geez, I couldn't keep driving. I'm tired.
It is a long way, yeah. We are pretty much equidistant between Barrie and Kincardine.
And I believe the Semisters are up in Stouffville, which is somewhere around Barrie-ish.
No, I don't think it's that far north. I think
it's not that far north. No,
it's closer to Toronto.
My buddy Jay lives in Stouffville. Lovely. Oh, bum bum bum. Oh shit.
Okay. Yeah, no, I know. Just 1 second. Let me try this again.
I apologize to any epileptics. That was bad. That was bad. Yeah, Jen just yelled from the other room. I'm glad I'm not watching.
Hi, Jen.
Aaron says hi. Jen unfortunately cannot watch the live stream. She can, but she finds it extremely annoying because she has a slight time delay between her device and my voice. So she's hearing me, and she says it's almost unwatchable. Hey, Kevin, here you go.
Yeah, that's closer to Toronto.
I don't know what was up with me there. It looked like he was in the middle of being abducted by aliens.
Hello, Mike's mom.
So, Aaron, one of my favorite things that happened on the live stream several weeks ago, but we were nearing the end of the live stream, and Deke was kind of monitoring the comments for me.
Yeah.
And my mom left a comment for me to water the plants. So Deke's like, "Hey, Mike, your mom wants you to water the plants."
Get to work, slacker.
Definitely some tech issues on Meat's end. Yes, that was pretty weird. And strobing meat. that sounds like a porno.
On tour with Throbbing Gristle.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. We got Uncle Meat back. This looks better. That's better.
That's better.
Nice haircut.
Now, yeah, thanks. Does it work if I go like this, or do I have to? Yes, I have to do this.
Yeah, you were sideways there. Yep.
Yeah.
We don't want that. Okay,
there we go. On Deke now.
There we go. Aaron, how's it going?
Good. Thank you. How are you, sir?
Not too bad. I was watching briefly earlier, and you were saying about the shirt.
Yeah,
I have also seen Tool and a memorable show, and it's not on my list.
Yeah, see, it was hard, man. This was difficult.
This was easily the hardest list of all of them that I had to make. I can't believe that like what's left off is just blowing my mind.
I know. Now I'm going to say I've only done 2 of these, but I would say the Canadian albums was harder for me than the concerts.
Well, yeah, that's a lot to choose from.
My mom is now.
Back to the party.
So we're waiting on Deke, but I guess I'll start. I'm going to start because I'm going to read a list.
Okay.
Now, as I was saying earlier, initially we were talking about not reading lists from other people, but I have to read this one because it's pretty special. It's by my mom.
Oh, nice.
And she left some pretty detailed notes here.
Ooh.
Now, she didn't put hers in any kind of favorite order, so she put hers in chronological order. So
that is impressive. Well done.
Starting in 1962 or 64, we're not exactly sure, but starting in 62 or 64, we have Roy Orbison. Oh, that's funny.
Roy Orbison. Ooh. Nice. Hello, Deke.
Roy Orbison. This concert took place at the old Glenbrier Curling Club, where I first curled, in Waterloo between 62 and 64. The curling club is now a Glenbrier Home Hardware. Hey, T-Bone!
Yes. T-Bone.
That's awesome. No, Roy Orbison, that's early days. That's cool.
Yeah, and it only gets better from there. 1967, Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah.
This concert is one of several that is not listed on the internet anywhere. Seagram Stadium in Waterloo. It was probably a student concert. And she remembers sitting on the floor. We figured this is around the time of his second studio album.
That's amazing. He would have been so young.
Yeah.
Baby Gordy.
Yeah, wow. Crazy.
Yeah. Number 3, and this concert is not listed anywhere in the internet. Nobody knows about it because it was a private concert. May 26th, 1984. Johnny Cash.
Ooh.
This was a private concert for Canada Trust staff, as their first cash machines were called Johnny Cash machines.
Johnny Cash machines. I remember them.
The Johnny Cash machines in some of my videos from the 80s that I've posted.
I remember them. Yeah.
I've got video of that. At the time, the ATMs were not widespread like they are now. TD had them, and theirs was called the Green Machine. I remember that too. The private Johnny Cash concert took place May 26, 1984, at the Waterloo Motor Inn in Waterloo. It was like a cocktail party where we all got to meet Johnny and June, and then they put on a small concert for us. We enjoyed it so much that we got tickets to the public concert the next evening. More on that later. And she also notes that her father loved Johnny Cash. And I will quickly show you 1 second here. I'm going to show you a memento from this show using the fancy dancy screen sharing ability that I now have with StreamYard. And here is the memento. Open image in new tab. Okay, now I'm going to share the screen. And there you have Johnny Cash autographed the night that they met Johnny. And you can see, barely see on the card, it says, "To Dawn, best wishes, Johnny Cash."
That's
nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
That's an all-timer right there. I quit.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Thank you. Good night. Number 4, John McDermott.
Yes.
1985 or 86, Center in the Square. She must mean 95 or 96 because she says, I believe Mike got these tickets for us. That could only have happened in 95 or 96. This was my first McDermott concert, and they've been to a few. Rita McNeil. I've been to several of her concerts. They were all at Center in the Square. Her favorite was the Men of the Deeps in 1990.
Yeah.
Number 6, Jan Arden. This concert was in Stratford at the Festival Theatre, December 31st, 1999, which would make it Y2K, the evening of, which I remember.
Oh.
Wow.
Everybody was concerned about what would happen when the clock struck midnight, and nothing happened. Number 7, Tom Jones, Center in the Square. He put on a wonderful show but he's not young anymore, and that was in 2006. She's taking a left turn with this one here because I told her the comedy shows are going to count as concerts. And the reason I said that is because we counted comedy shows in our live albums.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
2008, Center in the Square, Brent Butt. I was a big fan of Corner Gas, and Mike and Kate wanted to go, so we went. It was fun.
Corner Gas is awesome.
Number 9, Burton Cummings. Now, here's one that's not at the Center in the Square. I saw him in Las Vegas when I went to the first of several curling events there. This would have been 2014. I was with a group of 6, and several did not know him. I said, you will know his songs. He sang all of his famous songs, which they all recognized, and he was great. He put everything into his shows. Number 10, Alan Doyle from Great Big Sea.
Great Big Sea, yep.
Center in the Square, 2016. The crowd at that show was unbelievable because he has a real following.
Oh, yeah.
And last but not least, Gordon Lightfoot, Center in the Square, which we saw together. This is the only concert that we went together, just the two of us. We had great seats in the loges, and I enjoyed it very much, especially seeing Mike's enthusiasm. But I will get to that more detail later.
Ooh, foreshadowing.
Of course. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my mom's list. And I believe T-Bone, how you doing? You've got a list, don't you?
Hey, fellas, pleased to meet you all.
I've never been face-to-face with you before, T-Bone.
Okay.
From the home office of Plateau Lake via Lakeshore Drive, here are my all-time top 11 concerts. Number 11, Sloan. Excuse me.
Hey, can I make a pun?
Yeah.
No.
T-Bone, I can't wait for you to dish.
It's a paper plate.
Sloan, T-Bay, 2019. Number 10, Motley Crue, Winnipeg, 1990. Number 9, Pink Floyd, Winnipeg, 1994. Number 8, Paul McCartney, Winnipeg, 1993. Number 7, Bon Jovi, Winnipeg, 1989. 6, Rush, Minneapolis, 2002. Number 5, Rolling Stones, Toronto, 1994. Mr. Books was at that show. Van Halen, The Fuck Tour, 1992, Minneapolis. Fuck. Number 3, U2, Montreal, 2011.
Woohoo, Montreal.
Number 2, Aerosmith, Winnipeg, 1990. And my all-time number 1, the Tragically Hip, Winnipeg, 2016.
Oh.
Thanks for having me on, fellas. Go have go. It's Friday night, and I got to kick Dar and Rug's ass because I'm a big boy. Adios.
Nice to meet you, T-Bone.
Come and T.
Hey, did we say that was T-Bone China, that plate?
What plate? What are you talking about?
I'm
in trouble, guys.
I'm making puns.
I'm a little trouble.
Oh,
I forgot.
What kind of party is she going to if it has bare naked ladies?
No kidding. I forgot. She revised her list. She sent a revision. She replaced Brent Butt with the bare naked ladies. She says she went to their concert, Center in the Square, with Catherine around 2010. Great showman. So I screwed up. I apologize.
Okay.
And Rosanna says that she grew up listening to several rock bands, and now she's 55 and still rocking and rolling, which is awesome.
Give her.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm. So she traded Brent Butt for the Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah, but I kind of like the Brent Butt
Butts for butts, like Bare Naked. Anyway, sorry.
What?
I'm on a roll.
So,
Yes.
we were just chatting earlier. I know you got to bail early tonight.
Mikey, you know what? I was watching you from 6:30 on, but I had to wait for Uncle Meat to get on so that I could bring T-Bone on. So
okay.
I didn't want to spoil it right off the hop.
It's pretty crazy.
Well, good job. That's quite the entrance. That guy looks like an accountant.
We met T-Bone.
I never told.
That guy looks like an accountant.
He's a rock accountant.
But he's not square.
No, but you know what? The best thing is Facebook. So what Sue did, she went on Troy's or T-Bone's Facebook page, snapped a pic. We went to Walmart, printed it off, grabbed a paper plate, and the good old wooden spoon.
That is dedication right there.
Now,
you know what the best is? Dara, Rugg, and T-Bone had no idea I was doing this.
Now, is T-Bone able to see this live, or is he going to see it later?
No, he's out at his camp, so he said his Wi-Fi is shit, so he'll see it Monday night, but I'm sure their brothers will send him a text. Maybe they'll probably screenshot it.
I hope so.
Oh, yeah. I'll let you know.
So you have to bail early tonight, right?
Yes, probably 8:30 or so.
So
but you guys keep going.
Instead of doing rounds, do you want to just all of us? Do you want to just do like us one at a time, maybe instead? I don't know. I'm just suggesting.
Yeah, sure.
What do you guys think?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Meat?
Whatever works. Like, if you want, we can do Deeks and then do ours
in rounds. You want to do that?
Either or. I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Yep. Whatever works for you guys.
Yeah, you guys are good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to shoot off my 11?
Yeah. Why not?
Okay.
That's a cool way to do it.
All right. So, Mikey said, remember when we first started talking about this, we said stuff about ticket stubs and whatnot to kind of get an actual timeline of shows. So what I did was I went into my archives, which is this.
Wow.
The scrap boob. That's what it looks like from here, man.
Wrong book. Sorry, guys. Anyways, all my concerts are in here.
Nice.
Newspaper. Cool. I got all of them on my list except for 2 of them. So
I'm out. He's too organized.
No.
Man, I wish I had done something like that. Not even close.
Well,
not even close.
Bear with me here, guys.
Me too. That's amazing. What a record that is.
We're going to get going. So my number 11 is Guns N' Roses, Metallica, and Faith No More, the Minneapolis Metrodome, September 6, 1992.
Oh, I was supposed to see that tour.
There we have. Well, you can't really. Nice. It's not going to work.
Well, all your newspaper clippings. I mean that, and
there's Logano's homeboy Jim Martin.
I was going to say, it looks like Jim Martin. Is he holding a microphone? It looks like he's singing.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's singing?
Yeah, that was the only picture they took. The newspaper had of the show.
Of all the pictures, it's the guitar player holding a microphone.
He could have been yelling at the crowd.
From the band that played at 5:00 in the afternoon there. But the show was originally scheduled for August 5th, but then they had that whole Montreal meltdown, and then it got pushed back into September. And it was a good show. So I'm going to keep her going here, boys.
Yep. Well, I love your Kiss shirt, by the way. Just noticed it.
Oh, thanks. And guess what? We're going to have another appearance from a special guest later on. So bear with me. My number 10 is from Canada Day, 1994, Pink Floyd.
Oh, that would have been right around the time of the Division Bell.
Yeah, I saw that tour.
Oh my God, I love the Division Bell. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that tour.
Exciting.
Aaron's hyperventilating. Okay.
Oh, I love that album. I do.
So do I.
They made the front page of the Winnipeg Free Press.
Wow.
It was a great show. I mean, I'm not a huge Floyd guy, but I had to go. And I also have to mention that T-Bone, when he sent me his list, he explained all the concerts in great detail. So what I did was I have a post on my site tomorrow. I'm blogging his stuff because I would have not been able to read all it without cracking up. Once I see Mikey starting to laugh, I had a hard time keeping it together. So anyway.
Yeah, but I'm an easy laugh. I mean, I laughed earlier. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on. There we go. I mean, that's all it takes right there. That's all it takes.
Yeah. Hey, boys, hang on. I got just going through my.
You're a fart pedal.
All right. So my number 9 is. You can see this.
McCartney.
It's
Paul McCartney from Thursday,
nice.
December 7th, 1999 at the Sky Dome.
Nice.
There's the Fab Woozum.
So occasionally you do come down here.
Oh, I've been down there lots.
I'm just joking.
You guys were still in your diapers.
You guys like have to do like an adjustment for the climate change because it's so different from here to there. So different.
No, it's the exact same time.
No, it's totally different climate. You guys are in igloos.
Yeah, that's right. Well, no, actually, we live in tunnels.
Oh, yeah.
All right, boys. So my next one is these guys from 1992.
Who is that?
Oh, Def Leppard.
Adrenaline.
Nice.
92, that's a good era.
Yeah.
So the story with that, which was really surprising when, Leopard was selling a huge amount of records.
Mm-hmm.
And I missed them in Winnipeg in 88, but in 92, I got around to go and see them. And I was surprised that the show, it wasn't sold out. Like they were still doing their In the Round. And it was like, maybe you see empty seats. And I was like, wow, that's crazy because Leopard is huge. So the next day in the paper review, it said that their Adrenalized show actually drew 2,000 more people than it did in 88. And I'm thinking, really? So good on them. They showed up.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the best thing about that was I went and seen them about 6 weeks later in October a month later in November in Duluth. So Duluth.
Nice.
Yeah, good show.
Duluth.
The only reason there's a running joke between me and Deke about Duluth because there's one Ian Gillan tune where it's like, get on to Duluth. Get on to Duluth. And I just thought that was always just the weirdest lyric,
All right.
Yeah.
So my number 7 is Motley Crue.
Wow.
June 1990 at the Winnipeg Arena.
Dr. Feelgood tour. Yeah.
Actually, to me, that was their farewell tour. They never recovered after that.
True. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Unless you count the John Corabi album in terms of artistic merit and not commercial merit.
That's really good. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that was.
I like it too. I know Meat's not a Motley fan.
I saw them in 84 or 83 on the Shut of the Devil tour.
Oh, wow. See,
Yeah.
I, just to pause for a second. The list of concerts that Meat's seen that is not going to make this list is going to be
It's ridiculous.
I'm almost like thinking like I can do a post about it, but I guess we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear what you're saying. I mean, I just went with all the out of town shows. I could have done a whole list on just the Croc shows.
Yeah.
Well, you're old like me, Deke, so we've been to a lot of shows.
Yeah. All right, boys. So my number 6 is.
Oh, Van Halen.
Van Halen?
Yep.
Never saw Van Halen.
Me neither.
Not the old Van Halen.
But
Wow.
it was from November 7th, 1991 when they played Winnipeg, and they had Alice in Chains opening up for them.
That's right. And I read in Meat Magazine, I believe it was Meat Magazine, that as a gift, Eddie bought them all brand new pairs of combat boots.
bought them combat boots. And if you watch on YouTube this show called Icons, they talk to Jerry Cantrell.
Okay.
And he talks about doing that tour with Van Halen. And he says, at the end of the tour, he said to Eddie, he says, "Hey, man, I really like that guitar." Like, I guess Eddie had one of his prototypes. And he said, he goes, "Would you give me a good deal on it?" And Eddie goes, "Bullshit, I'll just give you one." So he said, Jerry Cantrell said he was driving, they were still touring. And he was living at some other person's house. And the dude, as soon as Jerry Cantrell got back home, the guy says, "You got to get your shit out of my garage." And Jerry Cantrell's like, "What are you talking about?" He says, "I don't know. You got a bunch of stuff from Van Halen in there." And he opened it up and he said it was just pallet after crate, amps, amp heads, guitars, and everything. He said Eddie Van Halen just sent them all this stuff. And it took up the whole guy's garage that he couldn't park his car.
That's cool.
I would like to have that problem, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a nice problem.
I have a garage, Eddie. You're free to fill it.
I have too much Eddie Van Halen equipment in my garage.
Yeah.
Really.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Tidbit. There's a story there.
I guess that's a nickname, maybe.
Yeah, she's always saying I always have like tidbits of little rock info just like that.
Oh, I see. Well, here's a tidbit of rock info to go with that. The prototype guitar you're talking about was when Eddie Van Halen switched over to those Ernie Ball Music Man guitars,
Yeah.
which I personally was not a big fan of. But one thing that interests me about them is the way that they did the neck. They took a laser and measured all the wear and tear on Eddie's guitar neck, the one that he'd been playing for years, and they duplicated that exactly on the Ernie Ball Music Man.
Cool.
So that's kind of a neat tidbit.
Indeed.
Kitchener style. All right, boys. So my number 5 is the Rolling Stones.
Oh,
Hey.
From 1994. I caught them twice. Once the same show as Aaron, and then that was with Stone Temple Pilots opening.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then right before Christmas, we went down to Minneapolis to see them, and they had the Spin Doctors opening for them.
Oh.
Yeah. The Spin Doctors were good, but they were lost on that huge stage. Like it was just too massive for them. These Stone Temple Pilots, when we did the P&E, they were, Waylon was like slinkering all over the place.
They're fucking great live.
They had that set in the middle where they
They're
brought
great
out
live.
the carpet and set up a couch, and they got the acoustic guitars like they were in a living room.
Yeah. Me and T-Bone loved that part of the set. We thought that's pretty cool when an opener just goes, "Yeah, we're pulling the couch out."
Yeah.
I saw them open for the Red Hot Chili Peppers and absolutely blow them off the stage.
Nice.
That's hard
They
to
were
do.
they were great. Like total shock.
Yeah, those first 3-4 records, man, they're pretty unbeatable. I mean,
Right,
for
yeah.
them to come right out, just whoosh, kick ass.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, we're on to my number 4, which is, you'll know this guy.
Steven Tyler.
That's probably your favorite band, right?
No, actually, that you're gonna have to stick around, Meat.
Oh, okay. There you go. Good.
Meet you were at that show.
But one of my favorite.
Is it the show that the Metallica and Warrant and Black Crows?
Oh, okay. No, it's not.
It's, actually, I did see Aerosmith in Toronto right around early January 1990 at the Skydome, and they had about 35,000 in there. I remember the show you're talking about, but then 3 months later, me, T-Bone, Dar, and Rug, we went and seen Aerosmith in Winnipeg. And I actually would pick the Winnipeg show because, A, we had better seats. The Skydomes were way at the back and like 3 balconies up, and it was still cool being in-house, But Winnipeg was right on the side of the stage, and they had this. Mike, you remember the Aerosmith stage where they had the rooftop with the city's names spelt backwards? You remember that?
Vaguely. I remember seeing pictures of it. That's around the Pump era?
Yeah, it was the Pump tour.
Yeah.
So they had right on our side of the stage, they had like a lamppost on the roof. And we howled our asses off. At one point, Tyler started way off on the opposite side of the stage, and you could just see him running. And he's running during Joe Perry's guitar solo, and he leaps off and he grabs that flagpole. And I swear the soles of his feet just went right by us. Like he was just, man, so much energy. It was it was a real good show.
No wonder the guy suffered so many injuries on the stage.
Yeah, well, you know what? He was bringing it 110%. So what? They were a great show. My next one, I unfortunately don't have newspaper clipping for, but that is the same as T-Bone's, and that was Rush in Minneapolis on the Vapor Trail Tour 2002. And thank God T-Bone took the initiative on that, because at the time my daughters were young and money was kind of tight, and he said, dude, I'm getting you a ticket. We're going to go down for one night and one night only. And then we went down, and man, to this day, I still thank him for that trip, because I would have totally never seen him. So,
I saw that tour. It was a great tour.
I never got to see Rush.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. So, that's what best friends are for, man. Like that was a solid step up on his part. And it was like, wow. So honored.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was Pure and Rush. All right. So you guys ready for number two?
Number two?
Yeah, I'm on number two.
That went by fast.
It did.
I'm trying to keep it rolling here, Mikey, but I got another special guest coming.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Can you wait a second? 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think we got time.
Is it a cup this time?
No idea.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look out, ladies.
Oh, yeah. Well, all right.
Funny.
Demon here.
Funny.
I'm thinking the next band must be Barry Manilow.
Yeah.
You watch it, Logano. I'll get you in your sleep. Can you guys hear me okay?
Who let Slipknot in here?
Hey.
What?
Can you hear me okay?
I'm kidding.
The Demon here to tell you all that we took a young 12-year-old mind back in 1979 and scarred him for life. The Kiss Dynasty Tour. On October 6, 1979 was Young Deke's first concert. Oh, yeah. He got to see the original Kiss before we booted Peter out a few months later.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
He witnessed Ace staggering around, flinging off sizzling solos in the stratosphere of the Duluth Arena.
Ah, Duluth!
Starchild pranced and danced and sang songs about loving you. While I, Gene Simmons, took Deeks to the wasteland, never to return.
Wow.
This is absolute gold.
Fuck, you needed some production value there. Let some pyro.
Boom!
Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness.
That was wild.
Wow.
That's the show. Thank you. Good night.
Well, all I got to say
Wow. Crazy.
Mike, I even scripted it out.
I figured that had to be scripted. That couldn't have been
Beautiful.
That couldn't have been off the cuff.
It was damn good.
This
Hey,
dude
Nick,
is
man, I just
prepared.
want to have some fun.
Kevin Simister has a great point.
Wow.
Wow.
Well done.
What
Well
do you
done.
do for an encore? What do you do for an encore?
Yeah. What could number one be? Like,
Oh, but
it's T-Bone at number one.
Yeah, T-Bone, he's number one.
T-Bone live at Crocs.
Oh, man. So I forgot to bring down one of the shirts because I didn't even get any newspaper clippings off my number one. But that is the mighty Iron Maiden from September of last year.
Yes.
In Vancouver. So my all-time favorite show, reason being, is my buddy Metal Todd out in Vancouver scored us floor tickets, so I got 30 feet away from the front of the stage.
Oh.
So that was a mind blower in itself, being down in the trenches.
Yeah.
And the other thing was the production that they put on was basically 3 live shows in one. They started off with the war theme. And then by the time they got to Revelations, it turned into this big cathedral-like with the stained glass eddies in the back. And then by the end, they just kind of did a retro thing. So to me, it was like you basically got 3 Iron Maiden arena shows in one. I mean, I've never seen that done before. And when we left the arena, we were with two of Metal Todd's friends out there, and I only met them at the show, and they asked me, they said, hey, you've seen him? I said, I've been lucky. This is my third tour in a row I've caught Maiden. And they said, well, where does it put it? And I said, well, it's probably the best. And they said, the best of? And I said, the best ever. And they probably thought I was blowing smoke up their ass, but I said, no, seriously, I never seen a production like that. It was just like such a mind blower. And, with all this silliness going on in the world right now, thank God that show wasn't scheduled for this September, because I'd probably be crying right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah. So that, guys, is my list. That's my top 7. Thanks for putting up with me. And yeah, I wonder if anybody did turn this link on when I had the Simmons mask on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Funny.
For Harris,
look at anyway, Deke. You're well prepared.
Well, hey, I just wanted to jive it up a bit and have some fun.
That was great. That was great.
super stuff, Deke. I'm a little blown away myself. I knew you were going to be showing and telling. I didn't know you had like a full scrapbook, and I certainly didn't know T-Bone and Gene were stopping by. Like that, I did not know.
Yeah, well, I just thought I'd add some spice to it this week, and
Yeah, I'll say.
I'm not going to guarantee that kind of shit every time, but yeah.
I don't know if this is a criticism against you or not, but I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I'm like, how do we top that?
No.
None more top.
It's just having
But
fun.
from here on in, it's the whole thing's downhill.
No.
Pretty much.
The T-Bone thing, I've told him in the past. I said I got to get him on the show, but he's so busy in the summer with his camp. So then that was the next best thing. Hey, I can get him on this way. But Mike, when you were reading your mom's list, did you know it was a paper cutout, or did you actually think it was him?
No, at first I thought it was him.
I know you were focused.
Yeah, I'm like doing this. I thought it was him. And then I noticed it was a paper cutout, and I'm like, I'm in the middle of this list and I don't really want to stop, and I keep looking, and I'm like, this is fucking killing. He's still holding it. I'm like, I'm like down to number 3, and I'm like, he's still holding it. So that was great. That was just awesome.
Thanks, man. Okay, shut up now. You get
So you want to go in rounds?
Well,
Yeah, we might as well.
Clockwise, me, Aaron.
Go on. What was Aaron going to say?
Well, I was going to say, Mike, before we did those, while Deke is still here, are we going to just even not even go into the details, but say what your first show was?
That's a good idea. Aaron mentioned this in an email today.
Okay.
He wanted to know what everybody's first show ever was.
Yeah.
I can't say yet because it's actually on
your list.
So I'm
Mine is not
out of that until such time as we get there.
Okay.
But yeah,
mine is not on my list.
You don't have to tell a story or anything. I'm just curious what everybody's first gig was.
Well, I can tell you that my first concert was the Monks
Nice.
at the center in the square. And the tie-in with LeBrain here is that I did a review of a Metallica show that I saw years ago. And in the comments of that review, because I had mentioned that the Monks was my first concert, the lead singer from the opening band actually commented on the post and said, well, I was the first band that you ever saw then because we opened for them. It was some band called Photograph.
That's insane.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's totally crazy.
Was that Bad Habits or Suspended Animation?
It was Bad Habits. And it's funny because looking into it, the Monks were so successful in Canada that they are a British band and they only released their second album in Canada.
That's amazing.
It's great. It's a true story. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, you go where the popularity and the money is.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, you go where you can. Where the bread is.
On a Friday night.
On a Friday night.
Mm-hmm. And you, Aaron?
Me. Now, I'm not going to have a cool story like that. My first concert ever was in the Lucknow Arena. Does everybody know where Lucknow is?
That every 2 weeks.
Yep.
I do know where that is. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
See, I grew up in Gorey, so Lucknow was fairly close.
Okay.
Well, I should say I was raised in Gorey. I never grew up. But Lucknow Arena, I don't know dates or anything. It was mid 80s. We saw 8 Seconds. Do you remember Kiss You When It's Dangerous?
No.
Yeah. Yes. I know the song.
Yeah. We saw 8 Seconds open for Frozen Ghost.
Wow. Nice.
Yes.
Frozen Ghost.
And I was maybe 10, 11, 12, mid 80s. It was my first.
Yeah, I think I was 11 or 12 on mine too.
My first concert experience was 80s pop.
Yeah,
Canadian
indeed.
Pop. Yeah.
Guys, I'm having some kind of connection issue.
Oh.
If I disappear, then that's
sound
why.
okay, man. You
I don't
sound
know
talking
what's
about
going on here.
Yeah, you look fine on my end.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was going to show, Rob Daniels left a comment here. His first concert was Free Fair at Grand River Collegiate. I was there with him, and I was going to show a graphic of the band Free Fair, but I can't get on my website right now. I'm not sure why. And Rob also says Skylab.
Cool.
Okay.
But Free Fair used to bill themselves, and I wish I could show the graphic. They used to bill themselves as the band from Florida, which I thought was interesting because it's like, what? There's only one band from Florida?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And John T. Snow has a cool first concert. We talked about that a bit last night.
Springfield.
Rick fucking
Nice.
Springfield.
Jesse's girl.
And Jen,
Right.
Jen mentioned from the other room that her first concert was the Beach Boys.
Whoa.
There you go.
She
Yeah.
went,
That's a good one. That's great.
Yeah.
damn. Yeah.
That's an awesome
Canada's
one.
Wonderland, she says.
That's an awesome one.
I asked my wife, and she said hers was Huey Lewis in the News.
Oh, nice.
Another great. I would have loved to have seen them. I didn't. I
Yeah.
never did.
It was in between sports and 4, so it was right around Back to the Future.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mega.
Okay. There's the explanation for Skylab.
Oh,
Oh yes. It's been a long time since I've heard that album.
I was gonna say you caught me. I
Crazy.
don't have the song titles memorized.
Yeah. I guess that leaves you, Deke.
I'm done,
Oh,
man.
Kevin Simister's got a good one.
Ooh, oh, James approved.
I've seen that artist live, but he just not on my list tonight.
Weird Al. Nice.
So, Deke, was your first concert was Kiss?
My first concert was Kiss, yeah. Kiss, and the original opener was supposed to be Judas Priest.
Whoa!
Oh my God!
Hellbent for Leather tour.
That was advertised, and the night of the show, it was a young John Cougar. who filled in for Judas Priest. And
Well,
you know what? being,
you win some, you lose some. There.
well, being my first concert, John Cougar got pelted with
there.
garbage and booing and everything else. And yeah, of course, 3 years later, he was laughing with Jack and Diane and all his hits. But for me, I thought for my first concert, seeing an opening act get booed, like, how does that happen? Well, it happened.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Happened to the real
People know this reference. Very first time I ever heard of John Cougar was when he was alter ego with Ed Grimley on SCTV, if you remember that episode. Little day about Jack and Diane.
Yeah.
No?
Classic.
Yeah, you
Classic SCTV. Oh, yeah.
Oh, and
Classic.
Rosanna says that that's a heck of a first concert, slided into her with John Sykes.
Look at there's Whitesnake at Rock in Rio in '85.
Yeah.
Way to go!
That would have been,
Wow, that's
that would have
cool.
been with Deke's favorite lineup with John Sykes.
That's very
Damn.
cool.
The muscle
Rock and
band.
Rio is
Man.
crazy.
Best. That was the best lineup of Whitesnake ever.
I know you feel that way. I'm a Steve Vai guy, but whatever. We can agree to disagree, right? So, are we going to go in rounds?
Sure.
Yeah, we might as well. Might as
Yeah.
well.
You go
Clockwise?
first, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm winking.
It's up-
I'm winking.
It's up to you, Mike, and you tell us where to go and how far.
You notice me winking?
Yes.
Number 11. December 8th, 2018.
Uh-oh.
Max the Axe CD release party.
This is a man who clearly has not seen enough concerts.
No, I'm kidding. I just did that to piss you off. That's a joke. I that was a great concert. Don't get me wrong, but I just wanted to actually take a page from my mom's book and put a comedy act as my number 11 because sincerely.
But wait! I thought you just did actually.
Oh, funny guy.
Only one person can say that.
Sorry. Okay, so one of my favorite shows that I've ever seen was a show that I won tickets to, actually, and it was Tom Green at the Chrysalis Theater, September 22, 2011. And I got to say, I didn't know what to expect. Like, everybody knows his TV persona, but his stand-up comedy persona is not like that at all. It's very different. And I really enjoyed the show very, very much. He's very much an old school comedian, and he thinks that cell phones are basically the scourge of comedy because a comedy show is no longer something that happens in the moment and then it's gone forever. It is now something that gets put on the internet and analyzed for years to come. And he's being very critical of BlackBerries. And it's like one day humans are going to evolve to just be two pairs of thumbs, you know?
Amen.
So I really enjoyed that show. Tom Green is going to be my number 11.
Nice.
True. Nice.
Thank you.
Very cool. So if we're going clockwise, is it the same order for everybody on here with their boxes? It's Aaron next?
Sure. I hope so.
Oh,
yeah, I'm clockwise, I guess. I'm next to
cool. Yeah.
I am next to the picture of Mike doing an impersonation of Tom Waits.
He looks like a racer head.
That's correct. That's supposed to be a racer head. That's exactly what it's supposed to be.
Okay, so for my list, I did the same.
Like Randy, the song.
Oh.
And Rosanna's got saw another great show there.
Yeah. My list, I didn't number things again because that's fine. I don't need the stress. So for the first one,
I did the stress.
I want you to know the lengths that I went to, and it isn't wearing a Kiss mask or bringing in a photo of a friend from Walmart that I printed off. I actually contacted an ex-girlfriend to try to get details about this because I couldn't remember.
It's the high fidelity moment.
Yeah. And this was, okay, so we got it narrowed down to a date, July 3rd, 1993. It was in Glasgow, Scotland.
Whoa.
Wow.
It was the Glasgow International Jazz Festival. And some dude from Edinburgh with a saxophone opened up for B.B. King.
Oh, there you go.
Sweet.
And it's the first time of 4 that I saw him.
Legend.
And he was just phenomenal. Like I was already a blues guy. I was already listening to all that stuff. But to be able to just sit there and watch him do, that had to be there. So yeah, I had July 93 at the Royal Concert Hall in Glasgow.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Super awesome.
Wow. So I guess that's me. Now I'm going to very quickly say that, and I was telling LeBrain this, like I've seen Rush and Iron Maiden 7 times each. And also like multiple times for Kiss and Marillion and Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, and none of them fucking made my list. And it still blows my mind. Because this was so hard.
Rush?
No, this was so hard. Like it just, I kind of went with, for whatever reason, something happened, or it was just, like personally, some sort of experience or whatever. Mm-hmm. So my number 11, April 10th, 2019, at the Danforth Music Hall, the Lennon Claypool Delirium.
Nice.
I'm memorable for basically exhaling a joint right in Geddy Lee's face as he was coming out of his bus in complete shock.
Yeah.
And then he came out on stage and did Tomorrow Never Knows by the Beatles.
Yeah.
And it was just magical. I mean,
my sister was at that show. It's the only show you and my sister have ever been to at the same show.
Oh, there you go. Cool. Yeah. So it had to be on the list.
That's awesome.
I can't believe you got
Geddy Lee
high, man.
Yeah. That's
what?
cool.
I can't believe you got Geddy Lee high.
Well, yeah.
Nobody gets Geddy Lee high.
Yeah, I think he's been around the block a few times. I have a feeling so.
Did it lower his voice?
No, I don't think so. He didn't sing though, so I really don't know. He didn't sing. He just played bass.
Kevin saw B.B. King in 2003, and it would be on his list.
Oh yeah, well B.B. King's going to reappear, so just hold on, Kevin.
There you go.
Hey, Mikey.
Yeah.
Sue shared her stream on her Facebook page.
Oh, that's why we have 11 viewers now.
Double digits.
So my number 10 is a concert that's already appeared on my mother's list, which was her number 1. Gordon Lightfoot, October 15th, 2006 at the Center in the Square.
Cool.
She said we were in the loges, and it's the only show I've ever seen with just my mom. But what I remember most about that show is Gordon Lightfoot walking out on stage, and everybody starts clapping, and he trips over a chord. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I've just witnessed the death of Gordon Lightfoot.
Oh, wow.
That wasn't the case. And he was fantastic. The songs speak for themselves. It was just him and an acoustic guitar. Number 10, Gordon Lightfoot.
Cool.
Nice.
Fan-freaking-tastic.
That's awesome.
In fact, I was telling my mom about this live stream, and she said, tell them that John Denver was my favorite.
Wow.
I said, Mom, did you see Gordon Lightfoot? She went, oh, yeah, change it. It's Gordon Lightfoot.
There you go.
She said, I did see him.
That's funny.
I've almost finished my coffee. Remains to be seen whether I need a refill.
My next one is really super easy because it was on Deke's list, August 20th, 1994, Rolling Stones at the X for Voodoo Lounge with Stone Temple Pilots. We were 35th row, right in the center, and on the floor. And I mean, to just be there with my guys. I mean, I'm a Stones guy from way back, and there they were, and awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah, I've never seen the Stones.
Concerts now where 2 people had the exact same date.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that was
that happening.
Last live stream, I was telling you that was the show we got pepper sprayed, and we got rained on, and it didn't matter. Shit. It was magical.
Nice.
That stage was massive with the chrome serpent.
Oh yeah,
and it was so high tech. I mean, it was amazing. Just like Floyd and the Stones did those outdoor tours in '94, and I mean, Floyd had basically back then the high def screen, the visuals, the surround sound.
Oh yeah.
Well, Floyd always had those big screens, right? They had those. I forget. I was reading. I have a book here called the Black Strat. And it's all about David Gilmour's guitar and sort of the history of it. And they were talking about even like the Pompeii and everything. Like there were big screens even then, like going way back, they were big on the visual thing.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
wow.
And also just for the Stones, that last little bit that we mentioned was the first time on that whole tour they played Satisfaction because they said they weren't going to do it. And then that night that Deke and I were there was the first time they played it.
Wow.
So,
that's cool. They've been playing that
as well.
a lot of years.
Well, yeah, they said they were tired of it, right? So,
yeah, I don't blame. Yeah, of course, I'm sure. It's a lot of years.
Yeah.
Okay. It's my number 10. February 3rd, 2001. The Lyric nightclub in Kitchener.
Wow.
With Stacey Earle opening. It is Steve Earle. That show, it was just Stacey Earle. I came out during Steve Earle's set and sang their duet. It made me and Iron Tom Sharp hug. It was just and true story. 2 different couples, Sausage guys, Scotty and Cam, had children conceived after that show. They figured. So there was something in the air that night.
Was one a boy named Earl?
No, it wasn't that. But it was amazing that it turned out that they figured out that they both knocked their partners up that night. So there was something in the air. Great show.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like how Meat just cuts to the chase. Knock their partners up. Boom.
Yeah.
No foreplay. No foreplay.
Yeah. There you go.
So,
Funny.
Rob Daniels mentioned Free Fair earlier, which was his first concert, and I was there with him, and I just found that graphic, or my internet returned at least, and just 1 second here. Boom, there it is, Free Fair. That looks like the guy from Mad Magazine that did that art.
It does.
And yeah, like I said, I found a thing of theirs that said the band from Florida. And I remember that I believe Rob's bandana that he still has says the band from Florida on it, which I find hilarious.
What kind of music was it?
Covers. Rock pop covers.
Okay.
There you
High school, they would do high school circuits.
go. Cool.
My number 9.
Okay. LeBrain.
I can't tell if Deke's like trying to tickle me or
Oh, he said, your turn.
yeah.
He's fingering you. I had to say it. He is. That's what's happening.
My number 9 is a band that did not make Meat's list. And some people might be surprised that it's so low on my list. But it was Kiss, August 6, 1996, the reunion tour.
Nice.
I've written about this experience multiple times. Iron Tom Sharp got tickets from a guy named Johnny. Believe Johnny drove. Iron Tom Sharp dragged us to Tower Records because he just had to find some fucking Willie Nelson. We missed the first like 2 songs or whatever. We came in during King of the Nighttime World. And then Johnny's car broke down before we could even get into it. And we were stuck in Toronto until like 3 a.m. Big applause for Iron Tom Sharp for organizing that clusterfuck. I had to open the door the following morning. And I remember like we were downtown Toronto. I'm sorry if I'm going to go long-winded on this. We're downtown Toronto. We're hanging outside of whatever record store it is that Iron Tom was at, shopping till midnight, waiting for Johnny to show up with this car. And then we see Johnny walking down the street towards us. And it's like, this ain't good. This ain't good at all. And he's like, it's the tranny, the transmission. It's gone. And this homeless dude that's overhearing our conversation goes, hey, all you got to do is pack that thing full of grease. I should know. I used to be a mechanic.
Thank
Wow.
you, Randy.
So, you know, we're
Thanks,
stuck downtown
thanks.
Toronto. Everybody's hungry. We go to Subway. They have no bread. Eventually, they called a tow truck, and somebody's sister drove down to Toronto to pick us up. I can't remember whose sister it was, but somebody's sister drove down to Toronto to pick us up and dropped me off at my home. I hit the pillow trying to sleep, but at that point, you're so wound up, you can't sleep, and I had to open the store in like 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why Kiss is only number 9 on my list.
You know what, Mikey?
Fair enough.
That would be the best tour to have seen. Oh, and I think ever since they came back,
I agree. Nothing would drop that. Nothing would drop that. Not even Psycho Circus.
Basically they got Scabs playing the part of Ace and Peter. I'm sorry, but that's basically what it is. I mean,
Oh, that's out there now.
sorry.
It is. It is. Matt.
Yeah.
Harrison Kopp has some predictions, but I'm not going to comment on this.
Oh,
And we are back to Aaron.
okay. I forgot. I got so distracted by Deke. I actually have a couple things to show you. So my copy of Voodoo Lounge from the one before has my ticket stub
Yeah,
in the back.
Mm-hmm.
nice.
There. So
Very cool.
That's the proof. But my next one is a quick story. I am a fan of Harry Connick Jr.
Oh, yes, you are.
Okay, I have loved Harry Connick Jr. for a long time, right back to Lofty's Roach Souffle and all that stuff. So he came to Toronto the very weekend after that Stone show that we saw, Deke. So we saw the Stones on the 20th. I was back in Exhibition Stadium on the 27th, and we saw Leroy Jones Quintet, and Leroy Jones played trumpet for Harry. We saw the Leroy Jones Quintet open for Harry on his funk tour, which was the She album. And there's all kinds of stories to go with that because we had seats in the crowd and all these sort of gray hairs, all these older people were getting up and leaving because it wasn't big band, right? Because he was the next Frank Sinatra for so long. He was doing all the big band stuff, you know, when Harry Met Sally and all that. But he was doing like New Orleans funk and like they were just having a party on the stage and all these people were leaving. Oh, that's not what I wanted to see. But the cool part of all that was we met him.
Nice.
That's cool.
His wife, Jill Goodacre, it was a Victoria's Secret underwear model. And so there was a tie-in promotion. Harry was sitting in the women's lingerie section of the Bay on Queen Street. Okay, surrounded by posters of his wife in her underwear. Okay. At a table signing autographs. And so my friend Joanna said, we've got to go meet Harry. I said, sure. We go down there. Now, she was really into him in another way. She was like, do you think he would sign my inner thigh? And you know what? I said, probably not, especially considering that 7-foot tall security guard standing there would stop you before you got too close. But anyway, we went down and we stood in line and we met Harry. And I had so much fun. I had it framed. I don't know if you can see it. I have a signed copy of She that Harry signed.
Lovely.
That's cool.
Underneath it.
Thanks.
Right on.
Yeah, so that's a nice little keepsake. That's August 27th, 1994, 8 p.m. at the Grandstand with the Leroy Jones Quintet.
So what did you do? Did you
That's
buy
very
a
cool.
copy of the album to play?
I'm geek enough to have bought another copy, so I had the cover art.
Okay. Yep. That's what I wanted to know. That's what I wanted to know.
So yeah,
That's fair.
this is my signed Harry Connick Jr. and that's me going back a long way. I love that guy.
Yeah.
So Aaron,
Very cool.
why were people leaving the show?
Because for the longest time in Harry's career, he was the jazz guy, and then he was the crooner. He was the next Frank Sinatra.
He was very much a young Sinatra looking guy.
Yeah, with the suit and the big band kind of sound, all that stuff. But that album, She, was the first time he did anything different, and it was all New Orleans funk, and it had that sort of groove to it. Everybody dancing, and the trombones were doing this in the background, and they were just having a blast. Yeah. And they played a song that was like this 10-minute New Orleans funeral march, and they were going around the stage, and they were doing the whole dance and everything, and all that was missing was gumbo for everybody, because it was amazing. It was a big New Orleans street party in a concert. But it wasn't what those people wanted to see. Yeah. They wanted him to have the full big band orchestra and doing It Had to Be You. Yeah. And those kinds of songs, you know. So
I remember years ago, Jeff Healey showed up to our local blues fest.
Yeah.
Nice.
But Jeff Healey showed up with his blues band. You remember his blues band where he'd play trumpet?
Yeah. Yes, I have those CDs. They're awesome.
Hey, everybody there, a lot of people were expecting Jeff Healey electric rock.
Yeah.
When he came out playing trumpet, it went. Yeah, people left, like the complaint, and it was like sad, like people just didn't get it. But I was just kind of wondering about your deal, why people were leaving, because I never seen that before. I thought, guys, it was like Jeff Healey, like.
I know. No, meeting Harry was really cool. Meeting him, like, and he has these giant hands and these wrists, like, because he plays piano a lot, right? So he's really strong, and he just about broke my hand. Like he's, hey, hi, how you doing? You know.
Funny you should say that. That Tom Green show that I mentioned, we met Tom Green after the show, and I shook his hand. Little did I know he had a broken hand, and I have a firm handshake. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. You probably remember you, Mike, because of that.
That asshole in Kitchener shook my hand.
Funny.
Yeah.
Hey, he stuck it out to shake you back, so all good, man.
Yeah. No, that was great meeting Tom Green and seeing that show. But yeah anyway. I believe it's Meat's turn now.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it's funny. You guys have all these ticket stubs and everything, and I really wish I would have did that. And I was an idiot and just. I started collecting them, then I lost them at one point, and then I just stopped. So there was no point. But this entry is the only one that didn't have a ticket stub. August 15th, 1992, free show at a place called G. Ross Lord Park in Toronto. Black Crows, a Southern Harmony had just come out. And it was a free show in some park in Toronto, packed full of people, just jam-packed. And the show was incredible. Like they were in their prime. That's their favorite, my favorite album of theirs. Yes. I remember they came out and they started playing, I believe, Sting Me, first song off that album. Yep. And when the big note hit, this huge banner of a pot leaf came down that was behind them, and the crowd just went crazy. It was such a fun day. Like, completely free. You'll never get that again.
No,
And
that's amazing.
Especially in this era, because we're packed like sardines in there. Like, because it wasn't a very deep park. It was kind of wide, so like it was just a big, like amalgamation of people, and a great show. They were in their prime.
That's
just
awesome.
perfect.
That's great. That's a great record. They even came to Thunder Bay on that record, which was even a mind blower.
Yeah,
So,
a great tour.
Yeah, see, I didn't see them. The first time I saw them was the album after the Three Snakes.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So they
could barely stand up.
When they played Thunder Bay, they had the Juju Hounds, but no Izzy Stradlin. He no-showed the other three. Yeah.
Wow.
It was Rick Richards on guitar, Jimmy Ahurst on bass, and I can't remember the drummer's name, but they were the
Charlie
three guys.
Quintana.
Yes, and they played, and I still remember Rick Richards. They were just playing like cover tunes, basically, and I'll never forget Rick Richards at one point in the set gave her one of these. 2 more songs, boys.
Wow, I can't believe. Wow, I'm shocked. A Guns N' Roses member backed out of a show.
I think he backed out of the whole tour.
Wow.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
They brought those 3 guys with them on tour. If you read Steve Gorman's book, he talks about those 3 guys traveled across Canada. They just said, "Don't cancel. We'll take you with
Cool.
Yeah. We're like, we're busy. Is he coming out? No way.
Okay, can you guys just pause for a second? I got to go to the can, man. I'll be really quick. I'll be back.
Well, you can't argue with that, can you?
No.
So I'll throw some more. I'll throw some of these comments up on the screen. John's got to go. And Ryan, you guys don't know Ryan, but he is a sausage fester, and he is an avid concert goer. And John said this about Clapton.
Oh, Blues Clapton is good.
Well, I guess he just wasn't expecting it. But still a great show, he says.
Yeah.
And I agree. Juju Hounds without Stradlin, ouch. But it doesn't surprise me. He didn't want to be a rock star. It was never his interest.
No, it was just.
I guess since Harrison wants us to praise Max the Axe a bit. I'll be honest with you, that was a great show, that CD release thing. And I filmed that live video for Randy at that show on my cell phone, and it turned out great, just the cell phone video. And I totally regret not filming the whole show. I really wish I filmed the whole show. But there you have it. I hope Meat washed his hands, but I'm not going to ask.
Man.
Yeah, he's got a bad pair of headphones there.
There we go.
Your earphones are really staticky.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, sorry. Is it okay now?
Yeah, just don't move around too much.
Thanks.
Like that.
Okay.
So I guess we can stop praising Max the Axe now, and we'll move on to my number 8. My number 8 is a show that I've talked about numerous times. Like, none of my shit's going to be a surprise to anybody. I've talked about almost all these shows numerous times. This would have been my very first show with Tom Morwood and company. It was Black Sabbath and Motorhead at Lulu's Roadhouse, July 22nd, 1995. And Motorhead were great. I remember they were on the Sacrifice tour. And I remember when they were about to play the title track Sacrifice, Lemmy goes, don't try to dance to this fucking song, or you're gonna break both your fucking legs.
Attaboy, Lemmy.
And
love them.
Black Sabbath came out. It was the Tony Martin, Cozy Powell, Neil Murray lineup. And I was telling Tom before the show that I wanted them to play The Shining, and they did play The Shining. I was very happy. At that time, I don't believe I had ever heard the Headless Cross album, and they played When Death Calls from Headless Cross, which was my first time ever hearing that song. And they did a great set. I've written about the show numerous times. The only shitty thing about it is when a bunch of assholes decided to like stage dive and mosh and shit like that.
Yeah.
And that's the point at which Tom said, I'm fucking out of here. And he went more to the back of the room. And I was kind of like still sticking it out up front, but then some chick started like grinding into me and I was like, fuck this shit, I'm out of here. So I went with Tom, and that aside, it was a great show. And unfortunately, the only time I've ever seen Sabbath was the Tony Martin lineup.
Hey, Mikey.
Oh,
yeah.
Mikey, did they do a lot of the Dio stuff when you got them?
Yeah. I have the full set list on my site, but I believe they did Neon Nights, Heaven and Hell, that kind of thing. Yeah. And maybe Time Machine even, maybe.
Plus you've seen Cozy Powell.
Look at that.
Sudbury.
Yeah.
Sudbury Saturday night.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he would have saw pretty much the exact same set list as me because they didn't change the set list up too much. They played 3 songs from the new album Forbidden. And I do remember the 3 songs were better live than the album, but that's not saying much.
Yeah, but you caught the mighty Cozy Powell drumming.
I caught the mighty Cozy Powell, and I understand that he quit that tour mid-tour later on.
Really?
And I think maybe Vinny Appice or Bobby Rondinelli, one of the two filled in. I think Rondinelli filled in after Cozy quit, but I don't remember all the details about that.
That's cool you saw him anyways, man. That's
cool.
I
did see him. I did see Cozy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
My number 8.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, me.
Then now you, Aaron.
Chew are up. Oh, look at that.
Sure. Yes, I knew.
Look who it is.
I knew this was going to show up.
Now, there's the
nice.
Stub. Now, the awesome part about this is it's the first time I'd ever seen them. So this was Sunday, April 3rd, 2016. So Iron Maiden had been around for a minute before I saw them.
They were famous, I think.
But Brother Wilf got tickets. We went down, and then the other fellow that we went with, Wilf's friend, he had somebody who worked in the venue. Oh, I can get you guys better seats. And we're like, okay, so we're standing around. And then he comes back and he says, go in over here. They're expecting you. So we went in and we went up, and he was a chef in the restaurant at the back of the ACC. So we got table seats right on the railing, overlooking the whole venue. We had restaurant bar service and our own bathroom for the Maiden show.
Wow.
And we brought out a complimentary on like a appetizer. Here you go. And like it was a high class thing.
Is that the menu that you sent me a copy of?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was exactly that.
Somewhere I can grab it. Keep talking.
Yeah. I have mine. It's in the other room. But that was an amazing show. The band that opened up was Raven Age, which was, I think it's Steve Harris's son.
Yeah. They opened up when I see him in Vancouver.
Yeah, they weren't bad. I whatever. I didn't know anything about them. But that Book of Souls, man, that just captured me. That was a great show. Really cool. Yeah, there it is.
They're always great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I got one too that Aaron sent me.
Yeah. What I did was after the show,
lamb ribs.
They had a special menu for the night. It was all printed up. But then after the show, everybody else in the restaurant got up and left, and they left their menus behind. So I went around all the tables and just grabbed all the menus, and then I mailed them out to Mike and Deke and Boppin and all kinds of whoever wanted one.
That's awesome.
You know what?
That's very cool.
My favorite thing about the Book of Souls was when the studio record came out, and it wasn't even out for 8 hours, and both you yo-yos had already reviewed it, and I haven't even gotten to the second song yet.
Well, I remember buying that. Jen picked up that album for me at Sunrise at the mall. It was a Friday. We were on the way to the cottage.
Yeah.
We listened to the album in the car with her mom in the back seat all the way to the cottage. Yeah. I got to the cottage, started my review started listening to it a second time, started typing my review, bang it out. Aaron had already typed his out and had already posted it, but I couldn't read it yet because we don't like to cross-influence each other when we review.
Well, you do a better job than me anyway.
I never posted my review of it till 6 months later because I really had nothing really to add because you guys just nailed it like right off the hop. I thought you guys are like totally fucking with me here. I can't even.
Do you remember that one that Aaron has that one reader, that Philip guy, and Philip was like talking about how there's a Joni Mitchell reference on that album, and none of us know to this day. I still don't know what he's talking about.
Philip Helbig, I think is.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him around in a while, but I haven't been digging real deep either.
Yeah.
The other thing about that night, after the show, it was like 11:30 or whenever they let us out. We walk out. Now it's April 3rd, downtown Toronto. And you think, okay, spring evening, right? Total whiteout.
Total whiteout.
Blizzard.
Wow.
And so and of course, I'm half in the bag from all the secondhand pot smoke. Wolf, I wasn't smoking any of my own, but I felt sick. Didn't feel good. And then Wolf had like 15 beers or something. So he's not driving. And so I'm like, oh my God. Now from the lakeshore to my town, even with bad traffic, is 2.5 hours. So it took us, close to 4.5 hours to get back.
Remember you telling me about that?
Oh,
we got up as far as Shelburne, and there's a cop cruiser across the road waving us out into the country.
Yeah.
On this, and it's like 2 a.m. at this point. And I'm like, oh, great. Now we got to drive out, and I don't even know where the hell we are. So I go out into the country, and it ended up being just sort of a right angle detour. But turned out that night somebody had actually died at that spot. They couldn't see the lanes, and they thought they were on the road, and they were, but they were in the other side, and they went head on into a transport truck. And a bunch of people died, and it was horrible. So that's what we went around when we were coming back at like 2 a.m.
I've definitely had drives like that.
And so that part was brutal, but I had to work the next day. So we didn't get home until like 4 a.m, and I had to get up and go back in. And I'm just like, I'm on this maiden high, right? Like I shouldn't have even gone to bed. I could probably have pulled it off. I was so excited.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, that show, that Book of Souls was just awesome. Anyway.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know what? I could have picked that one easy too. I mean, it's Maiden. Yeah. They always bring the goods live. So.
Yeah.
So many Maiden shows I could have picked.
Listen to me.
I think you were
blowing my mind.
Death Tour on my website.
What?
I think you might have reviewed the Matter of Life and Death Tour on my website. I know you really liked it.
Maybe, and I did love that one because they played like the whole new album. It was neat because it wasn't I Run to the Hills and Number of the Beast and whatever.
And I played.
But anyway, okay.
Last summer, I played you that bootleg that I have of that tour in the car, which you said
you did.
Bootleggy for the car, though. Too bootleggy for the car.
Yeah, it was too bootleggy. Okay, so my number 8, my number 8 is in some serious synchronicity with yours, Mike.
Oh.
From now take note of this date. January 21st, 1995, Lulu's Roadhouse.
Ooh. With
Belladonna opening Motorhead.
Yeah, because they played there more than once. It's right. So that's only 6 months off of mine.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You were back
and by far the loudest show I've ever seen. They were security was tossing women, men, and children off the stage like they were sacks of meat. Mayhem was going on, and I remember going to Sam the Record Man the next day and talking to Al
the King,
and Al was I was saying how his ears were still ringing, and he was wearing earphones, and I'm like, well, where were you? He goes, oh, I was at the very back. I'm like, I didn't have headphones. I was right in front of that bin. And I just remember his eyes just popping out because he was still in this like punch drunk from Motorhead. And it's funny with Lemmy too, because I'll never forget, like the loudest thing I've ever heard, and all you can hear is bass. And at one point, there's Lemmy screaming into the microphone, "More bass! More bass!" I'm like, more bass? Like, how is this possible? And it got louder. It was such a great show.
That's cool, man.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Oh,
so that Belladonna, was that Joey from Anthrax?
Yep, that was
Yep.
the solo tour.
Ah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. Yeah.
So was he just doing his Anthrax stuff, or did he?
He had a solo album.
He did have an album, but it was a lot of Anthrax stuff they played. Yeah.
That's cool. Good
That was
pick.
great.
Yeah.
It was cool. All right.
All right, I guess
The
it's
brain
me.
is up.
Wow.
So my last show was that Sabbath show, July 22nd, 1995, with my very first concert with Tom Morwood. My next show is July 27th, 1995. It was my next concert with Tom Morwood. And it was Queensryche with Typo Negative in Toronto.
Wow.
And I remember it was one of the best live shows I've ever seen. I believe that was the night that I met Dave Haslam.
Okay. Dr. Dave.
Believe that was the night that I met Dave Haslam. And I believe Troy went with us. But it was a great show. Like the guys didn't really want to catch Typo Negative, and we missed most of their set. I remember Peter Steele came out on stage and he said, "This is a song about suicide. I hope when I die, I get to throw myself off a building and land on someone I hate."
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Fantastic. They were on the Promised Land tour.
Oh,
And
nice.
all of Promised Land, though not in order. They didn't do one of those playing the whole album from front to back.
Yeah.
But they did play every song from that album. And, a healthy share of Mind Crime, healthy share of hits. And they also they had a very elaborate stage, including at one point there was like a bar on stage with like roadies as the bar patrons and bartenders and whatnot. But it was the last night of the tour, so there were major pranks going on. And I have this show on VHS, and I should probably pop it in the VCR and give it a watch.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So that was my second concert with Morwood, and I the guy's a great concert buddy, and it was a wonderful show. Excuse me
Yep.
just a second.
That's awesome. It's because of Mike that I even listened to Queensryche at all.
Is that so?
Good band.
They just never,
Ryan C. Mitchell. There was a point when I thought I might not be able to get through Motorhead. Then I looked around and saw an old guy and a kid, and I was like, I guess I'm not a putsy. I'll tough it out.
That's a good point.
And I think Rob is
That's
very
funny.
impressed by some of these concerts that we're all listing off.
wow.
That's funny.
That's
That is
cool.
funny.
Livre?
That's cool.
Livre.
So basically, that was basically Pate's one of his last tours with him, probably arena tours, eh, Mike?
DeGarmo?
Oh, DeGarmo, yeah.
Second
Probably.
last. He stuck around to the next album.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Harrison. That sucks.
Oh,
It'll happen, buddy. It'll happen. It's a different kind
That's
of year.
heartbreaking.
It's a different kind of year.
it
Yeah.
is.
Maiden will be back. Don't
Oh,
you
yeah.
worry.
Monsieur.
Oh, it's me?
Monsieur
Très
Livre.
bon. Très bon. Okay, allons-y.
Allons-y.
My next one comes with a bit of an apology because I had incorrect information.
Oh.
We talked about the time that I got dragged to see The Mighty Sloan
Yeah.
by Leslie the Condom Queen.
Yes, I remember her.
Yes, my friend Leslie in university, and she was the safe sex representative. So she had the fish tank, not a bowl. She had an aquarium full of condoms. Doors open, just go take one. Anyway, this was the show that introduced me to Sloan. I didn't know who they were at the time. I could be forgiven. There was really it was still early, and I wasn't really listening to that kind of thing at the time. But my apology goes because I have the ticket stub.
Nice.
So I can tell you that it was September 28th, 1994 at the Capitol Theater in Windsor. And I mistakenly, this is how memory works. If you watch any show about memory in the brain, it'll tell you how easily you can forget things. And my memory with Sloan is I've seen them 5 times. So like who opened which one,
Yeah.
but I have the newspaper article.
Ah.
Look at the babies.
Yeah, they were just kids. I was in Patrick's completely different now.
I know. Now
Looks like
that was 94, so they were still touring. The other one, the One Chord, must have been just coming, but it wasn't out yet. And I had said that it was Local Rabbits that opened. And I have thought all of these years that it was Local Rabbits. But this University of Windsor campus newspaper, The Lance, because they were the Windsor Lancers,
Okay.
The Lance tells me that the opening acts, there were two of them, the special guests that night were Thrush Hermit
Okay.
and Super Friends.
Super Friends.
Yes.
I remember them.
So it must have been another show that because I know I saw Sloan at the bomb shelter.
Waterloo. Yeah.
And I know I saw Sloan in Saskatoon with James, but that was Junior Panthers that opened. And I know we saw Sloan at Eden Fest, but that was like 27 bands.
Yeah.
And there was another time we saw Sloan too. Anyway, so that other one must have been the Local Rabbits. This one was Thrush Hermit and Super Friends.
My only time seeing Sloan was on whatever the fifth album is called, that tour at Lulu's Roadhouse, and they were fantastic. Between the Buttons, I think it's called.
Yeah, with Losing California and all that.
Yeah, that's the one. That was a great show.
Sensory Deprivation is such a good song.
Yes, it's very heavy.
It's
and
awesome.
the opening act on that show was the Flashing Lights.
Okay, yep. That's the same. Yep.
Same group of people. Yeah.
Yep, same bunch of guys. Yeah.
All right, man.
You're up.
Okay, my number 7, June 21st, 1991. This was a show dubbed Clash of the Titans, which was Anthrax, Megadeth, and Slayer. Now, Anthrax and Megadeth were great. I thought Anthrax was better than Megadeth. When Slayer came on, it was like no band had took the stage yet. The whole place, it was like a bomb went off in that place. It was just people, a swarm of people. Like we were in the stands at the C&E grandstand, like C&E Stadium, but it was the grandstand, and the floor just looked like that monster in the Avengers movie that's just kind of moving around like gray. I was attacking New York, that big slinky kind of thing. That's what the crowd. Yeah, that's what the crowd looked like. It was just a sea of people going crazy, and it's funny because there was an opening band, and me and my buddy like I've never heard of this band. We're gonna go out and smoke hash before the show. That band that we didn't go in and see was the very first tour for Alice in Chains.
I was going to say there was a fourth band on that tour, and I thought it was Testament, but no, you're right, Alice in Chains.
It's Alice in Chains, yeah. So yeah, that was a great show. I mean, monumental.
Rob is amazed that we can remember all the dates, but Rob,
the internet.
The internet. As long as you can remember like the venue and the year, you can pretty much nail down any date.
Yeah.
Except for the ones that are not listed, which we have a couple.
Yeah.
And there's a good show right there. Legendary, historical.
Oh wow.
Rosanna,
yeah, that's a big deal.
And
Rosanna,
Ryan,
I don't know who you are, but you have seen some amazing concerts.
Yeah, absolutely. That's crazy.
So it's back to me with number 6.
Hey, Mikey.
Yeah.
I got a split now.
Oh, me, Deke, you take care, buddy. It's been great. And say hi to Gene. And if Shannon's around, say hi to Shannon. And T-Bone and the whole family. I'll buy all 3 of you.
We're going to miss you, Deke.
Thanks, man. I'll finish watching this later, and I'll talk to you later, Mikey.
Take care,
That
buddy.
sounds good, man.
You rocked it,
Okay, see you, bud. See you, bud.
That was great. Deke's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so my number 6. Yes, number 6.
Yeah, number 6.
Ryan says fast run off his list. Ryan, if you go back to the very beginning, we did his list near the beginning.
Right at the beginning. And it's worth watching.
Yes.
Yeah, indeed it is.
Yeah. And Ryan, I will be posting the entire thing on YouTube after. And bye, Deke.
Bye, Deke.
Yeah, so my number 6 is, and I didn't plan it this way, but it's probably the next show that I saw with Tom Morwood. and it was Rush, no opening act, July 2nd, 1997.
Yeah.
And that was the Test for Echo tour.
Nice.
And they had just come out with those new greatest hits albums, the retrospectives.
Yep.
And they were kind of promoting those retrospective albums.
Mm-hmm.
This might have been Neil Peart's last show before his tragedies, his family tragedies. I'm not 100% certain on that, but the internet will tell you.
I was Troy with you at that show too.
Troy, and the very first time I ever met Tyler Jenner. Oh, and apparently Ryan was there. I might not have been. I might not have met Ryan. I don't know if he was with us or not.
I rest in peace, Troy.
And Kevin's bailing now that Deke's gone. I guess I'm a little shocked, but yeah. So I met Tyler Genero that night, and everybody was telling me that this Tyler kid loves Led Zeppelin. And, and he's like the whole night. Ryan was not with us. The whole night he kept on talking about John Bonham. Oh, I've never heard anything like John Bonham. He's the greatest drummer ever. And people were telling him, well, if you want to talk about drummers, you might want to pay attention tonight. He's like, there's nobody better than John Bonham. And then when we left the show after the fact, he was admitting that Neil Peart might have been the second best drummer after next to John Bonham.
Well, you have to.
But Meat knows Tyler intimately. Tyler's a dear friend of ours.
And speaking of Tyler, I believe from what I heard, Tyler may have put Zeppelin down today.
Oh no, his dog. His dog is Zeppelin. His dog is named Zeppelin.
Yeah. I believe that I talked to Seb yesterday. And,
rest in peace.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sad to hear that. That dog has been in many of our Sausage Fest videos. Basically, up until he was too sick to come to Sausage Fest anymore, which was only the last couple of years. But he's been coming to Sausage Fest since my first one, and before that too.
We're with you, Tyler, if you're watching.
Yeah, Tyler. Poor Tyler. He's dealt with a lot.
I never even met him, but absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Okay. Libras.
Number 6.
Again?
Yeah. Oh, and
look at that.
Music at Work?
That's Music at Work. Now, I've seen the Hip twice. The first time I saw them was with like 50,000 of my closest friends at Eden Fest.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an absolute, it was a blast. It was Trouble at the Hen House, but it was so many people and it was so crowded. And I was, this is what an idiot I am. I was like, but the Buzzcocks are playing on the second stage. I could go see the Buzzcocks, but no, you should go see the Hip because of course. But, and then Live had played right before them and I got kicked in the head in the mosh pit. It was a whole thing. But remember Throwing Copper?
Yeah, I still love that album.
Yeah, that's a great. They played that top to bottom. It was awesome.
I just rebought that album this year. Bonus tracks, B-sides,
Anyway, this was not the Eden Fest. This was Théâtre Saint-Denis in Montreal. This was June 20th, 2000. Now, Music at Work was not out yet, but my buddy George, who will appear in another story later on in this thing, he calls me because we didn't have cell phones. He calls me and he says, I'm living in Montreal downtown. And he says, you like that band, The Tragically Hip? I'm like, yeah. Why? He says, they're playing tonight. No, they're not. I didn't hear anything about it. He said, yes, they are. They've just announced it. It's scrolling across the bottom of the global news. Tragically Hip tonight at Théâtre Saint-Denis. I said, bye. I hung up the phone. My wife and I, we didn't even take the metro across. We ran across the downtown of Montreal we were at Dufour and St. Catharines, almost Atwater for anybody who knows, right at the old Montreal Forum. We went all the way across the downtown of Montreal over to Saint-Denis and up to Théâtre Saint-Denis, which is in like the 3000s or something. Oh no, 1594. So it's not that far, but it's north. And got tickets 15th row, right in the center, and it was $35 each, which is nothing. Yeah. And it was a warm-up gig for Music at Work.
Wow.
It wasn't even part of the tour.
Wow. That's cool.
There was maybe 500 people there.
Wow.
It was just like a little theater thing. And so the opening act, I had to look it up. The opening act was a band called God Street Wine.
I've heard of that. I remember hearing of them.
Yeah, and they were a New York jam band. Like kind of like I wasn't paying any attention. All I could think of was the hip. But they played and they were good, and we went, yay, thank you. And then the hip came on. And we were right there. And I mean, it was one of those sort of sloped seating. So it was like I was right there. And there they all were. And Gord Downey had his banana shakers. And I had so much fun. I printed out the set list.
Oh,
Nice.
Of what we saw that night. So it started with Tiger the Lion and it ended with Little Bones.
nice.
And I mean, it just... I love the hip, but to see them in a small club like that, like right up close, and they were like, it was awesome.
Nice.
awesome.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so thank you, George, for the heads up, because I would have totally missed it.
Hey, me,
Wow.
I think
Yeah.
this is a tour that you might have seen.
Kiss 1983.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's either the Creatures tour or the Lick It Up tour, which I saw both of.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm guessing that I would have seen that tour.
What about you, Aaron? You've seen this one?
No, I never went to a roadside attraction.
I know you like both those bands.
I love Midnight Oil. In fact, their Screamin' Blue live album is one of the best sounding live albums I've ever heard in my life.
I know you've
Put
sworn
that
by
on
that
with
for a
any
while.
good high fidelity system, it'll blow your mind.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Right on.
good.
All right, Meat, you're up.
Number 6, June 24th, 1994, in Buffalo, New York, at some bar called Impacts. A bit of a dream come true for me. One of many times I've been able to see my favorite a musician play. It was the reunion tour of the Dixie Dregs,
Yeah.
Nice.
who are one of my favorite bands.
Yeah,
It
I
was
knew
the
you were gonna
opening
say
show. It was the opening show of their tour, so they're doing shots on stage and shit like that. It was pretty crazy. And a weird thing about that I always find interesting is that right before they went on, there was a band playing. I'm like, what is this? This is incredible. Whatever's playing, and it turned out it was Dream Theater. The first time I had heard Dream Theater.
Mhm.
Well, the connection there is that the keyboardist that night was a guy named Jordan Rudess,
Mhm.
who has now been the keyboardist for Dream Theater for over a decade, probably 15 years now.
I
Or
would
so.
say 20 years.
Yeah,
I
so like,
believe his first album, if I'm not mistaken, was 1998's Scenes from a Memory with Dream Theater.
yeah. So it wasn't long after that he became just a kind of a weird connection there. Yeah.
And of course, you also know him. I believe he played on Liquid Tension Experiment,
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
which is a great another. I would call it a Dream Theater side project.
So I can always say, hey, I've seen the drummer from Winger play live.
True.
That'll get you the girls.
Fantastic. One of the best drummers I've ever heard, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. He's a genius. He's genius.
Yep.
Okay, you're up.
No,
Love
my
it.
number 5 is not my first concert, and it's not my first rock concert, but it is my first major rock concert, and it was at the Center in the Square, and it was Helix on the Wild in the Streets tour with Haywire opening, and this is the only one that I don't have an exact date for, but I believe it was November of 1987.
Wow.
And I
Back
do
there.
remember that Greg Fritz Hines played with like a little G string on, and he kind of mooned the audience. And
Oh dear.
Sounds like Fritz.
and Ryan C. Mitchell responds immediately to that.
Sounds like Fritz, all right.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of memories of the show except for just being blown away by my first major rock concert. Like, to me, Helix were as big as any band. Like, I didn't know any better. To me, they were as big as Kiss, as big as Judas Priest. And the most memorable thing about that show is that Brian Vollmer, the lead vocalist of Helix, started climbing the loges exactly where we were seated for Gordon Lightfoot. He starts climbing, and he jumps up onto the loges and then jumps over to the balcony, and he's running across the balcony right past our noses. And instead of like reaching out to like slap his hand or something, all I could do was go like, right on, man. But the most memorable thing about that show was Brian Vollmer just running right past us on the mezzanine there. It was great.
Awesome.
That's very
my
cool.
number 5.
Oh man,
Right.
Haywire. Oh, Dance Desire, baby.
Dance Desire.
Drop-
Their second album. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
Drop the needle. Drop the needle.
You're still talking. Yes, hi, Mom.
Yeah, we are still talking.
Yeah. We're only on number 5, Mom. We got a long way
Yeah.
to go, and it's 8
Oh, yeah,
years.
Yeah.
We still got a bit to go.
We may as well be knitting.
You're up.
Yeah, you're up,
My
man.
turn?
Yeah.
It's my turn. Okay.
We got to keep it moving or we're going to lose people.
Yeah.
Now, this next one, I may have told the story on the blog already. I attended Eden Fest
Yep.
in it's not Peterborough, it's Clarington, Ontario. Anyway, and it was a 3-day thing, and it went July 12th, 13th, 14th, 1996. There's my ticket stub, proof that I went.
Cool.
And we saw 27 bands in 3 days.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it was awesome. We saw everybody. It was great. Anyway, I mean, everybody for 1996 that you might want to see. But the whole weekend, there was this rumor going around, and it wasn't just a rumor. It was coming from the stage. The promoters were saying, everybody stick around to the end of the Sunday night, because it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Stick around. There's going to be a special guest.
Yes, I remember this.
Okay. And so then everybody's like, oh, it's going to be Metallica. It's going to be Smashing Pumpkins. It's going to be Green Day. It's going to be something, something big. So we better stick around.
Yeah.
And they get down to the Sunday afternoon, and they say, everybody, we have to apologize. There is no special guest. What they were going to do was they were going to take the guitar player from this band and the drummer from there and the singers from these bands, and they were going to do sort of a super group of acts that had been there for the festival. But because everybody they were all on tour and they all had to go on to the next gig, nobody could stick around. So there wasn't going to be a special guest. Oh, and by the way, give it up for the Watchmen. Now, so the Watchmen, I love the Watchmen. They go from a crowd of, like, they go down to like 500 people from thousands, because everybody had stuck around. And all the people who got mad and left, they went and started fires. There was a big garbage fight. They were flipping tents. There were.
Oh, no.
It was awful. It was a big fight up on the hill in the campground. I stayed because I'm like, woo, Watchmen, let's see these guys.
Yeah, I know you like them.
I love the Watchmen. And they absolutely nailed it. They played like they were in front of Nebworth or something. They absolutely killed it. They didn't care that everybody left. That was one of the best shows I'd ever seen. Mad respect for the Watchmen for pulling that off, because they could have just said, screw this. And like,
that's cool.
Half-assed it, but they nailed it. It was great. Really, really good. I love that.
That is cool.
That's very cool.
Total respect for the Watchmen from that. Yep. I am before too, but
Rattle.
Yep.
Okay, my number 5. Now, I am not the hip fan that you guys are. I've seen them twice. I'm a fan, but December 12th, 1996. When this concert was announced, me and my buddy Chewy thought, okay, we've never seen the Hip. And there's a bunch of people on our baseball team who are huge Hip fans, and they've seen the Hip, and they've never seen good shows. So this was right before they did wristbands. This is like when you could wait in front of a record store in line and whatever. So me and Chewy waited in front of the Sunrise Record Store at Conestoga Mall from 5 p.m. to 10 in the morning the next day. And it paid off, because we got 6 tickets, a 10th row center at Maple Leaf Gardens for Tragically Hip with the Rio Statics opening. which was another reason why we
Oh.
which is another reason why we won it, because at the time the Rheostatics were maybe my favorite band. They are still the band that I've seen the most. I've seen them in double digits. That show was incredible. It was the Trouble at the Hen House tour, like you saw.
Yep.
And I'll never forget, the second song they played was 50 Mission Cap, and they did a brilliant thing. They turned all the lights on in Maple Leaf Gardens. So now I'm standing on the Maple Leaf ice, and I've got all the Leaf banners right above my head, and 50 Mission Cap is playing. And it's like, that's no accident. You've just given me an incredible concert moment that I'll never forget.
Brilliant.
So, great show.
Oh,
Unbelievable show.
rest in peace.
I'm
Rob.
gonna play that for Jen. This segment of I'm gonna play it for Jen so you can hear that story. That's incredible. She'll love it.
No, amazing show.
Oh,
Wow.
I guess we're up to number 4 now.
yes.
Yeah.
And this is an artist that Harrison mentioned earlier. He was hoping to see this person on a list. And it's actually second appearance for Helix. But it was when Alice Cooper played the Center in the Square with Helix opening May 6th, 2006. One of the very best shows I've ever seen. I was in the second row. And Alice is Brian Vollmer came down and fucking shook my hand from the stage. Because he saw that there was this one guy in the second row that was pumping his fist and singing the lyrics to every single song. So he came down and he fucking shook my hand, which I was blown away by. But Alice Cooper is a completely different kind of performer. He does not single out any single person in the audience. He performs for the venue, and he's very focused. And this woman walked up to the front of the stage holding a CD case and a pen. And she's standing there at the front of the stage holding a CD case and a pen up to him. And Alice has got that cane that he has, swings his cane, fucking knocks a CD case right out of her hand.
Yeah, well, that's what's going to happen.
Nobody messes with his show, right?
No, you don't mess with
later on in the show, he did something very strange, very unusual. As I mentioned, he doesn't single people out. Nobody gets special attention. It's the entire show. There's this little girl in the first row. Little girl, she must have been like 5 with her father. And Alice Cooper came down and he like handed her some of the $1 Billion Babies money.
That's cool.
On stage. That person got special attention from Alice Cooper. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, one of the best shows I've ever seen. Alice had Eric Singer on drums, and that is where I got that.
Nice.
To be autographed, but the autograph is completely faded away, unfortunately. And with Helix, it was a really good lineup. It was when he had, and I can't remember her name. I can't remember her name, but he had a female backup singer in the band for the first time in the official lineup. And it was a 6-piece Helix lineup. So I feel kind of privileged to have seen that version of Helix as well.
That's very cool.
They were fantastic. They played one brand new song that night called Get Up, which ended up being on their next EP and next album.
Cool.
So yeah, Alice Cooper and Helix, number 4.
Right on.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still buzzing from the hip and Rheostatics and Maple Leaf.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a big one for me.
I wouldn't sleep for a week. Now, this next one was a toss-up for me. So I'm really going to quickly tell you about the time I saw Gowan here at the Bayshore.
Gowan!
Yeah. Now, that didn't make my list, but I reached out to my buddy Michael. I have known him. We met when I was 2 years old and he was 1 year old.
Wow.
And we've been best friends. We've been friends ever since. He was my winger in hockey. I was a center. He was my winger. We've gone, like, he's in Toronto now and Dr. Michael now, but yeah. So anyway, he was with me at that show. And I said, do you remember anything about seeing Strange Animal at the Bayshore here in my town? And he said he would look into it. I wanted to know if he remembered who opened. And he thought that it was a band called Neo A4. I have no idea what that is, who that is.
It sounds familiar. Like that actually rings a bell for me.
I don't know. But the weird thing was he found the ticket stub and it showed 1988. And this is where I said it was going to raise a question because Strange Animal was what, 85?
84, 85.
84, 85. And like Great Dirty World would have been 87.
Yes. Yes.
But we saw Great Dirty World in Guelph. We were in the Awake the Giant video. They filmed that. Remember the concert video for Awake the Giant?
No.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, if you
I think I do.
Go on YouTube and look it up. The Awake the Giant video by Gowan is a concert video, and they filmed that at the show we were at in Guelph.
Cool.
Because I remember all the cameras on the things. But why we would have seen Strange Animal in 88, I don't know. Anyway, that was the mystery, and it wasn't my one. Now the one that is in here, March 28th, 2000.
Yeah. Okay.
I went and saw Rollins Band.
Oh, nice. Very cool, though. That I'm envious of. That would have been great.
Oh, my God. Now, this is not the original lineup. This was Mother Superior. So when the original Rollins Band broke up, he got another band that was the fully functioning band on their own called Mother Superior to become the Rollins Band for him. So I have the ticket stub in there.
Nice. Yeah. Wow.
And it was March 28th, 2000 at the Le Spectrum in Montreal. And I'll never forget my buddy George. Remember I said he was going to come back into this story. He wanted to come with me because he wanted to try to like what I liked somewhat. So he came to this Rollins show, and Rollins is up there. He's in his shorts, no shirt. He's got the microphone wrapped around his hand like he does. He's down in that crouch at the front of the stage, and he's just looking like he's going to kill everybody the entire night. George, about 5 songs in, has disappeared. I say to Cindy, my wife, I said, "Where did George go?" She says, "I don't know." And we find him. He's over against the wall on the side of the venue, asleep.
At a Rollins Band show.
At a Rollins Band concert. And George, if you ever see this, I'm sorry, man, but how the hell do you fall asleep when Henry Rollins is screaming and doing his thing? I have no idea. But what a show. Oh, my God. It was like a bomb went off. The whole place. Like, he was sweaty in the first song, and he just didn't stop. That would
be great.
And that big back tattoo, and he would stand up and he'd do the thing, and he just looked like he was going to kill everybody the whole night. It was so much fun.
That would have been a great show.
Rollins,
wow,
man. It's great. Yeah,
you mentioned how he's up there in just shorts and no shirt. One thing that always surprised me anytime I've seen videos of Rollins performing live, also no shoes.
Yeah,
for a guy who stomps around like that.
He tours with a carpet that he puts down, and he sort of stays on that carpet. It's a big carpet, but he stays on that.
Comfy.
Yeah, well, I can only imagine how nasty that gets with him sweating and spitting and all over.
Hopefully they dry clean that every once in a while.
But I don't. That's the only time I saw him do music. I also saw 2 Henry Rollins spoken word shows.
Cool.
That'd be cool
in my time as well. Yeah, one in Toronto and one in Montreal. But the Rollins Band with Mother Superior, if you can get a copy of that Get Some Go Again album, this one here, if you can get a copy of this.
Oh, yeah.
Every single song.
I think it's over there.
Did I give you
That's
one?
Cool.
I think so. I think it's over there.
Mike, you need to hear this. Yeah, that was awesome.
Awesome. That's great.
Yep.
Okay, so am I up? Number 4?
Yeah.
Number 4. New Year's Eve, December 31st, 1995. Another Lulu's Roadhouse show, and another dream come true. Another big Max Webster, a reunion show. Never thought I would be able to see them. I mean, my buddy Gary that you met were huge. We were so into Max Webster. And what an amazing show! Just like
you get tickets to those shows.
A complete dream. Like it happened, and I still can't even believe it happened because I never thought I'd see them.
They did with Peter Fredette on bass.
Yep. And it's funny too because I mean I've seen Kim Mitchell several times before that, and one of the times I saw him before that was a free show outdoors at the University of Waterloo, and it was Kim Mitchell. And I was 18, 19. It was well before that. And I was pretty drunk. and I was screaming Max Webster songs in between every song, like loud, and to the point where after about I was that guy that day. I was that guy, and after about 8 songs, he stops and he points at me. And he's like, "Hey, we're trying to play a show up here, buddy." And I think my response was, "Paradise Skies." So not a stellar day in the life of Uncle Meat, but yeah. Anyway, that's off topic. Max Webster was a dream. So
Aaron, there you go, buddy. Neo A4.
Oh, they do exist.
Yep.
No, there you go.
Familiar. I knew that name.
That's cool.
I wouldn't have been very old, so I don't remember them. I remember seeing Gowan, but yeah.
We are into the top 3.
Yes.
And
top 3.
Honestly, at this point, my top 3 are basically interchangeable. I was shuffling them all. They were always going to be the same 3 shows, but now they've been shuffled around in order. I eventually decided to put November 20th, 1996 at the Warehouse in Toronto, Deep Purple on the Perpendicular Tour.
Nice.
And
I was there.
when I talk about this show, I find a lot of people are jealous that I've seen this.
I was there.
The Perpendicular Tour didn't get a lot of play. I was talking to the webmaster of, I believe it's blacksabbath.com. Great guy. And he was saying that tour never made it down to where he is in Texas. But Wild Tea and the Spirit opened. And I remember several things about that show. First of all, it was another one that I went to with Tom Morwood and the gang.
Yep.
I remember that the dance floor, or the floor, I guess, it moved. It just moved during Woman from Tokyo. You know the part where it's really slow? Na, 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 na. And suddenly, bah, 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 you could see the floor just move.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody in unison.
And Mike, you do realize that's the only show that you and I have been at the same time.
Yeah, that's kind of strange to think of, but I think that is true.
It's absolutely true.
Uncle Meat, you have become the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, I had to move because my phone was going to die.
Oh.
And so I'm in the process of doing that right now.
Don't stand in the corner.
No, yeah.
Do not stand in the corner.
And don't forget what Harrison Ford said. Don't look into the light. Don't look into the light. Yeah, so Meat was there. Tom Morwood was there. Trevor Giardot was there. First of all, Ryan C. Mitchell is jealous, which is cool. John Lord on keyboards. I saw John Lord.
Oh my God!
And look at that. Look at that, Aaron.
Really? Okay, so there you go. You people know more than I do. I saw them, but don't know who they were or anything.
I'm going to leave this one up on the screen for the time being. Because that with the graphic is pretty funny. All right, Aaron, it's your number 3.
Okay, well, I now express my extreme jealousy for Deep Purple. That's awesome.
It was pretty cool, man.
Great show.
It was pretty cool.
I thought of a story while we were talking. Real quick, you talked about Slayer and how everything was crazy.
I'll be right back. You guys keep talking. I'll be right back.
And we went to see the Black Crowes at the Warehouse in Toronto for By Your Side, 1999.
Okay.
And so we walk into the venue, and it was just trashed. But the show hadn't even started yet. So we said to the security guard, what gives here, man? Like, you know, and he said, oh, well, Slayer was here last night.
That doesn't surprise me.
Like, why didn't they clean up? He said, buddy, this was cleaned up. So when you talk about how crazy it gets at a Slayer concert, that's another story to go with that for sure.
Absolutely, and it's so true.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that was another show. Mike's going to miss this, I guess, but that was another show that that didn't make my list but should have. I went to the Slayer farewell tour at the Budweiser Garden.
Oh, yeah?
And
that's cool.
It was Testament, Behemoth, Anthrax, Lamb of God, and then Slayer.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was just
Yeah.
it was like 6 hours of just metal. It was awesome. But
That's
it didn't
a big time
make this.
show.
That was really good. It was a really, really good gig.
I was just speaking to Jen.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for a list from her, but I kind of regret it. She just mentioned to me that, Beach Boys was her first concert, but she witnessed the New Kids on the Block's first concert outside of the United States of America when they were opening for Tiffany.
Well, there you go.
There you go. That's pretty cool.
There you go.
New
That's
Kids
cool.
on the Block's first concert. I mean, she saw Donnie Wahlberg way before Blue Bloods.
I don't know what you're talking about or who.
Come on, you are lying. You have a sister, so you know who New Kids on the Block were.
My sister's 4 years older than me, and she was already listening to the Chili's and the Black Pepper. Black Rose.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
No.
Funny.
So now that you're back, Mike, I'll do my next one. This is number 3.
Yeah.
This is a kind of cool story, and it also has a little bit of a mystery to it.
Okay.
I was a student at the University of Windsor, 93, 94. And for some reason, yes, Lamb of God was just as impressive. My God, they were awesome. Anyway, I don't even know how I found out about this, but the law building at the University of Windsor, come see this jazz show. Well, now I'm the jazz guy, right? I like jazz. I am talking about going to see Slayer, but I love jazz. I'll listen to,
Yeah, same here.
And so,
Yeah.
So anyway, I think it's like the political spectrum where everything bends around and eventually just meets anyway.
There's a fine line between Slayer and jazz.
It's really fine. It's a lot of screaming mostly is the line.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so anyway, the law building was throwing this concert in their atrium thing. Does anybody know who Doc Cheatham was?
No, that's not a name I
No.
know.
Okay.
Same with me.
Doc Cheatham was a jazz trumpet player in the 30s, I want to say 40s. He played with the Dorsey brothers. He played with Billie Holiday. He played with all kinds of people. Okay. In the heyday, he toured with Benny Goodman, all that stuff, the big band stuff. And they threw a birthday concert for him in the law building.
Wow.
And I think I just walked in. I don't even remember paying. Now, my memory, and again, we all know how good this is. My memory tells me it was his 90th birthday.
Wow.
But when I looked him up, he died in 97 at the age of like 92. And I'm thinking 93, 94. So it must have been late 80s somewhere, birthday. And he put on this, and like he's this frail old man, but as soon as he put the horn to his lips, man, it was heyday. He killed it. But the best part about the show was I got a piece of his birthday cake. But the best part about it was I did get to meet him. I got to shake his hand and thank him for the music and tell him what a wonderful thing it was. Because I'm a big band fan anyway, so I knew who he was. And anybody who's watching and wants to look up Doc Cheatham, it's a really cool. He's awesome. But the cool thing was he was telling these stories in between songs of memories of his tours back in the day. And so he would tell stories like, he was touring with the Dorsey brothers and they didn't talk. And so the band would go to Jimmy Dorsey and ask to be paid. So he'd pay them. And then they go to Tommy Dorsey and ask to be paid. And what? Jimmy didn't do it? So he'd pay them. So they'd get paid twice. But the brothers would never talk, so they'd never know.
Funny.
That kind of stuff.
Wow.
The time he knocked on Billie Holiday's door and asked her out, and he said, "I've never been kicked out of a room so fast in my life." But he said, "Oh, that was a damn fine woman," he said.
I'm still wondering. I'm still wondering myself. I'm still wondering about this.
So anyway, that was an awesome. I got to shake the man's hand, and I got a piece of his birthday cake, and just straight on old school jazz with all the stories, and just one of those nights you just walk into. I didn't even know. It wasn't planned. So
nice.
That really made my list.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So am I up at 3?
Yeah.
Yes.
3. April 10th, 1991. Skydome.
Okay.
The band, one of several times that I've seen the band Yes. It was they were on their Union tour, which
Hey,
the Union thing was about. They made an album with 8 past members of Yes.
Yeah,
So they toured. Yeah, and they toured with all 8, and the show was a revolving stage, and we had third row. So it was just a great vantage point. I was there with Jacob Moon, who me and Jacob Moon were at that show. One of a few shows that I've seen with him, and Tom Moore was at I was at that show too. But we didn't really know each other at the time. But he pointed out to me years later, and I remember, and he's exactly right. Yes has a song called "Awaken," which is like their class. Like it's probably my favorite Yes song. I believe Scott Carson is a big fan of that song. If that's the right one I'm thinking about. And they played that song. It's about a 14-minute song, and when the song ended, you could hear a pin drop, and then like 2 seconds of silence, and then just a roar of applause. They had that crowd in the palm of their hand. Great show.
Superb.
Amazing. Yeah.
Now meet. Interestingly enough, like I've never seen Yes or anything, and I've never heard that album, but I know just from reading that the album itself is not considered a high point for Yes. But I guess the tour is a completely different story.
Completely different story. The album is not great. The album really is not that great. It's okay, but like the album's mailed in, and it's literally mailed in. Because from what I hear, like they were recording parts in one city and sending them. Like it's just a mess of an album.
Yeah.
But the tour was glorious. It was just
So I guess we're on to number 2.
Yep.
And before I do my number 2, I want to do an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Because this artist came up earlier, but I couldn't put him on my list. I just didn't have room. Weird Al Yankovic is one of the best shows I've ever seen, and it was a memorable show because my sister and her boyfriend, we all went together, and her boyfriend stole Weird Al's water bottle right off the stage when the lights were out between songs. So he had like all of Weird Al's like bacteria and stuff. Weird Al has this one ballad. Do you remember that one ballad that was kind of like a spoof of More Than Words by Extreme?
Yep.
The black and white video, the long-haired Nuno-looking guy. During that ballad, Weird Al reaches into his pants and pulls out like a pair of boxer shorts with hearts on them, and he threw them, and my sister caught Weird Al's boxer shorts, and to this day still has Weird Al's boxer shorts.
Nice.
Ryan C. Mitchell says that nobody casually goes to see Yes. That's a good point. And Rob Daniels missed that Yes show, had a free ticket, and gave it away.
Oh, that was so good.
Someone else. Bummer. So my real number 2 show, and the only reason that this is really number 2 is because I don't remember it well. I was too young. But it was the night after my mom's Johnny Cash show, which would have made it May 27th, 1984. And I guess the way I remember it is my mom and my dad came home from Johnny Cash, and I said something along the lines of, boy, I wish I could have come. And they said, well, we didn't think you'd be interested. And I'm like, yeah. So they took us to the next night, which was the Center in the Square. I didn't get to see them at the private show where my dad met them, but Center in the Square. I remember only 2 things about the show. One of which was he had a screen behind the show that would show like music videos while he was playing the songs. There was one song, I don't know the title anymore, but Meat might know. It was about a car with all mismatched parts. Like it was
one piece at a time.
It was a hood from that, and he had this funny video about this car with all these
pieces at a time.
What's that?
I got it one piece at a time.
Yeah, that might be it.
Yeah.
That might be it.
Okay.
I got it one piece at a time.
Wow.
Didn't cost me a dime. Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
There's the song, and he played that video behind him while he was singing. And the other thing I remember about that show was that when June Carter came to the front of the stage, she kicked off her shoes.
Nice.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that was my number
girl,
2 concert, which was May 20th.
Well, that's a legend.
Yes.
My first concert as well. So, Aaron, this goes in with
there you go.
first concert thing. This was my first Johnny Cash.
Oh, geez, you're right up there with the winners. That's a good one.
Kevin reminds me that Weird Al song is called "You Don't Love Me Anymore." So
That's
yeah,
right.
Weird Al's
We've been together for so very long. I remember that.
Yeah. Hey, folks, how did you know that Cash song? It's pretty obscure.
Yeah, that's fairly obscure.
I've heard Johnny Cash a time or two.
Fair enough. I don't
Or three.
I don't think it's on anything I own.
Yeah, I don't. To me, that's a hit. I don't know. To me, I would think that would be on with Hey Porter and
Okay,
Folsom Prison and everything. To me, that should be there.
Yeah.
It's a fun song.
cool.
It's got that.
We'll see you leave. You're up, man.
Okay.
Number 2.
I want to give another shout out, but only for one band that was involved.
Okay.
They didn't make the list, but I'll do it real quick. I went in 90. Oh boy, 8 was whenever Pearl Jam did No Code.
96. 98 was Yield.
Okay, so it was No Code, so it would have been 96. Anyway, we went up to Mosport Park, and we saw 5 bands that day. And it was All Systems Go. If anybody remembers them, they used to be the Doughboys.
Oh,
Yeah.
So it was
I
All
remember the Doughboys.
Systems Go opened it, and then there were 2 stages. So the first stage was All Systems Go, and then Matthew Good Band, and then Hayden.
I remember Hayden.
Right?
Hayden.
And, no, there were 6 bands that day because after Hayden was Cracker.
Cracker.
You remember Cracker?
I
To be
do.
with you girls, like being low. Hey, 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 like being stoned. Remember that song?
Yep.
Anyway,
Yep.
so they were there. And then on the main stage, it was supposed to be Iggy Pop and Pearl Jam.
Okay.
But Iggy Pop wasn't allowed in the country. So we have a special guest filling in for Iggy Pop, and it was Cheap Trick.
No.
That's awesome.
And it
That's
was
awesome.
awesome. So, and Pearl Jam are huge Cheap Trick fans. So
Yes,
they
they
were
are.
That
just
would be a
drooling
great
all
fantasy.
over themselves, right? Like, who isn't a Cheap Trick fan? But they were just all over themselves. So it was a really fun gig. They had a good time there because, I mean, Iggy Pop would have been fun doing his thing, but Cheap Trick was awesome, and they played all the hits. They showed up. I think they probably just grabbed whatever gear they had at hand and just drove to the thing. They probably didn't even plan it. You know, they just showed up.
Yeah.
And it was really, really good. But that was an honorable mention.
That's
Great.
pretty
Great.
cool.
My next one, Cheap Trick is awesome, but they cannot top seeing James Brown.
Well, come on, that's the best.
My number 2 is James Brown at Lulu's.
Yeah.
Now I had
Tom Morrow was at that show. Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
Kevin Simister, and I believe I've said that correctly.
You did.
His lovely wife Sarka. She helped me out with who opened. I was like, there's a Canadian hip hop trio, and the dude that sings and raps walks with a cane, and it's sort of this R&B kind of sound, and there's a girl in the band, and sometimes she plays the trumpet, and who the hell are they? I couldn't think of it. It was Bass's Bass.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I remember that.
Crazy.
I
Right?
remember that. There was a
Funkmobile.
beatbox guy. There
Right?
was like
Funkmobile.
my sister had their first album.
Yeah.
She liked their first album quite a lot.
Yeah, riding in my Funkmobile.
That's
Anyway,
the one. Yep.
yeah, they opened for James Brown at Lulu's. And so thank you, Sarka, for reminding me who the heck they even were, because I couldn't think of the band name. And but James Brown was wearing blue suede shoes. I was right down front. You know, at Lulu's you could get right close, right?
Yeah.
I was down. I had my elbows on the subs. I was right there, and so he was like 10 feet from me, and his dancers. Oh my God, some of the hottest women you've ever seen. And they were moving, man. They were moving. It was awesome.
It doesn't get any better than James Brown.
Oh,
Simply
and
put.
he did the whole cape thing, like, oh, I can't sing anymore, and then he'd throw it off, and he'd come back and he'd do some more. It was the full show. It was awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't have a James Brown story, but Jen does.
Okay.
Her dad won tickets to go see James Brown because he won so many things off the radio, and like he won tickets to go see the Leafs wherever they were playing in the next round of the playoffs. Ended up taking Jen to go see him in California.
Wow.
In this
Wow,
case,
that's
he won
awesome.
tickets to go see James Brown. James Brown dropped dead later that week.
Oh,
Wow.
I never got to see James Brown.
That's crazy.
And of course, that was a real tragedy. His family fought for ages after that.
That's
Rob
crazy.
Daniels, his friend Scott got kicked out of that Brown show despite the fact that he helped drive some of the band members to get to Lulu. Now that sounds like a story.
How do you get kicked out? Well, I
When
don't
we get Rob on this show, we're gonna have to have him tell that story.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
Look at that! Look at that, Aaron.
she's amazing.
Yeah,
She's amazing. We bow.
Wow.
You are up. You are on deck with your number 2, man.
My number 2. Okay.
Are you in bed right now?
No. I'm in my pretend sauna.
Okay.
My number 2, July 5th, 2012. 'Twas the night before Sausage Fest, and all through the house,
I know.
not a creature was stirring, but
5 Alarm Funk.
wrong.
No.
Not a creature was stirring, but Jables and KG.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God.
Rage Cage.
So I picked Meet Up the next day, and he would not stop talking about this show. He said Jack Black is like the greatest singer since Ronnie James Dio or something to that effect. Okay, go.
It was the second time I've seen Tenacious D, and the first time was amazing, like absolutely amazing. Ryan Mitchell was at that show as well. I don't think he was at this show, but we went there with a lot of people. Joe Perry, Tom, whoever. There were a lot of people there, and it was at a venue called Echo Beach in Toronto.
Yeah.
And I think it was amazing to see Jack Black, like, because we were up close and very, very close to him. You could just see how someone like Jack Black, he's a Renaissance man. He's multi-talented. He's an actor. He's a performer. Whatever. He was so good with the crowd. He was just so good at everything. I remember, like, you're standing there on sand, and it's uncomfortable. And he totally pulled it right out of the hat. He's like, I can't believe that you guys are standing this long on sand. You Canadians will stand on sand for rock. It's just going on and on. The show was incredible. Again, yeah, incredible singer.
Rise of the Phoenix tour?
Yes.
Rise of the Phoenix?
And a band called the Proto Men were the openers, who played a little song called what is it? I know Rob Daniels will know this because I talked about this during the soundtrack. Is it Princess of the Universe?
Princes of the Universe. Princes.
From the
Highlander.
Yeah, from the Highlander soundtrack. The Protomen were, they played a lot of Queen covers in their set normally, but they only played one in this particular one, and it was that song.
I love that song.
Yeah. Anyway, a great show. So there's my number 2.
Wow.
Hard to argue.
Yeah.
So there's one band that I haven't put on my list yet. And before I say my number 1, I'm just wondering if you guys can guess who my number 1 is. I think it's obvious, but I guess we'll see.
Nothing's coming to me right now.
Seriously?
So many bands we have talked about. My head is swimming a little.
Probably the band I've seen the most.
Well, if it's not Helix.
There's one band I've seen more than Helix.
Well, you mentioned Helix as an opening act, but not as a headliner.
I did not. Yes, I did. Helix 87. Helix 87, yes. They headlined. Rush, no, you're wrong, Harrison. It is not Rush. It is a band that I've just decided they have to be. My favorite live band of all time is Blue Rodeo.
Oh, there you go.
I've seen them so many times, and it was hard to pick one. So instead of picking my first Blue Rodeo concert, I decided to pick the Tremolo Tour, which was January 21st, 1998 at the Center in the Square. Now, the reason I picked this is because when the Tremolo album came out, it didn't do anything for me. I had a pre-release promo of it, and I played it, and I'm like, it's good, but it's very mellow, it's very acoustic, and I don't know, for whatever reason, it didn't appeal to me. And then I saw that show, and all of a sudden, songs are clicking for me like that. And I have to say, to this day, Tremolo is it shuffles in and out of the number 1 and 2 spot for my favorite Blue Rodeo album of all time. It's a really deep album. It has some really great moments on it. I can't put into words how the album makes me feel personally, but it makes me feel. It really makes me feel. And the album might never have clicked with me if I did not see them perform on that tour that night. Cannot remember who opened. It might have been a Blue Rodeo, like a 3-hour Blue Rodeo night with kind of deal, because they are known for playing really, really long shows.
Oh yes.
And like I thought about this, and I had to put them higher than Rush and higher than Deep Purple, because when those guys get up there and they just start jamming, it's magic. It's magic. And I haven't seen them in a long, long time, but the lineup has changed significantly since then. I don't believe Greg Keeler even plays lead guitar anymore because of hearing issues. I believe they have Colin Cripps playing lead guitar, most of the lead guitar now, if I'm not mistaken. And I've never seen them with Colin Cripps. But it was a great lineup. It was when they had Kim Deschamps on slide guitar.
Yeah.
I believe it was James Gray on keyboards. And, of course, the ever-reliable Basil Donovan on bass. And just for a little bit of show and tell, this is not from that show, but I will show off my Blue Rodeo autographs. Just a moment. Here they are.
Some of which I've had briefly in my possession.
Right. So when I rebought the Blue Rodeo albums in box set form, I accidentally sent my originals with the ticket stubs inside to Aaron.
Yeah.
The ticket stubs that you are about to see right now. So there is the one, I believe that's signed by Greg Keeler. Yep. You can see the date, June 14th, 1991. That was the first time I saw Blue Rodeo. And that was the Casino tour. You might be wondering why there's a picture of my guitars here. And that's because I got that picture signed too. I was out of paper. And that's about as big as it gets. But you can see Basil Donovan signed the back of the guitars. Nice. And I believe that's Jim Cuddy's autograph on the back of the ticket. And the funniest memory that I have of meeting Blue Rodeo that night, I went to go see him with my sister, my buddy Bob, and a friend of his whose name I can't remember. But after the show, this was that particular show was the COE in Kitchener.
Oh, COE! Wow.
And after the show, Bob Shipper sees Blue Rodeo duck out a side door, and he says, "Let's follow them." So I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So we follow them right into the dressing room. And we're sitting out and hanging out with Blue Rodeo, and we just kind of waited until the members were available. And I walked up to Greg Keeler and I said, "That was a great show, man." There were stage divers. I've never seen stage divers at a Blue Rodeo show since. But I said, I've never seen stage diving before. And Greg Keeler just said, "Yeah, that was fun."
That's cool.
Walked over to Basil Donovan, who was very quiet, got his autograph, and everybody was waiting for Jim Cuddy. Because Jim Cuddy is Jim Cuddy. And
I saw Blue Rodeo once at Stages, and I liked them. I'm not a huge fan, but I'll tell you, they were absolutely great live. Yeah. And my favorite memory from that show was standing there, and Blue Rodeo comes out, and the last person to come on was Jim Cuddy. And he comes on the stage, and he's got his back to the audience, and he turns around to look at the audience. And there was a big spotlight on his face, and I have never seen a more high man than Jim Cuddy that night. He looked like he had just smoked 97 joints in a row. Like, I was like, "You're the highest man I've ever seen." So, and then he sings like an angel. I'm like, okay, I just don't get it.
One more thing I'll say about that Blue Rodeo show is when we met Jim Cuddy. Like, obviously we're looking for things to sign because, I got him to sign a picture of my guitars that was in my wallet. Bob Shipper had nothing left for him to sign. So he pulled a $5 bill out of his pocket and said, Jim Cuddy, can you sign this and put the best $5 I've ever had? So Jim Cuddy,
Wow.
he, what? And he signed it. The best $5 I've ever had, Jim Cuddy. And
There you go.
I got to talk to Bob Shipper. I got to send him an email tomorrow and ask him if he still has that $5 bill. I doubt it.
I
But
bet he does.
Well, you'd hope he kept it.
I hope so
I
too.
bet he has. That's cool.
But anyway, yeah, that's about all I got to say about Blue Rodeo. I love that band. Frank Toms saw Jim Cuddy on the CP Holiday Train. That's pretty cool. And there you go, Meat.
The Blair Witch.
On to you, Aaron, with your number one concert of all time.
Yeah. Now there's a just looking for things to sign story. My Nana lived in Chatham for a lot of her, especially right after the war. And she used to tell stories like they used to go down to Detroit all the time to see bands and stuff. And I'd say, oh yeah, who would you see? Oh, one time we went down and saw Duke Ellington and Ella Fitzgerald together. I said, what? What? Excuse me, what?
Casual.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, she said, yeah. And then, when your grandfather was because he was in the Navy. And so he wore his full dress uniform because it's after the war. He wore his full dress to go to the show. And the lights came on and they were the only two white people in the room. And but nobody cared.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you saw, my mind is going, and because I'm a jazz guy. But anyway, another time, after the show, she met Cab Calloway.
Oh, wow.
He was standing outside having a cigarette after the gig.
That's
and
incredible.
she walked up and she said, you're Cab Calloway. Can I get your autograph? And he said, sure. What have you got to sign? And she's going, he said, never mind. And he tore the side off of his cigarette pack and had a pencil in his pocket and signed that and gave it to her.
Very cool.
Somewhere here in the house, I have that.
Cool.
I have to find it. We've moved a lot of times and I have to find it. So anyway, that's another cool story about, meeting somebody.
That is really cool.
Yeah. She also met Bobby Hull one time.
Cool.
And he was signing autographs sitting at a table and she said, walked right up to him. She said, how tall are you? So he stood up and she looked at him and said, okay, you can sit down now. And I'm like, what the hell? My Nana was awesome. Anyway, my number one has a bit of a story to it.
What is BB King again? The BB King? Yes.
BB King, the King of the Blues. Now, this is the box set. Okay? That's the lid for the box set. The reason I have this out is because this is show and tell time. April 12th and 13th, 1996.
Okay.
Lulu's Roadhouse. There it is. Okay. Now,
Nice.
I saw, I was dating a girl in college at the time. And her parents worked at Samsonite in Stratford. And they were getting free tickets. They were giving tickets to the staff. They would get stuff and they were like, you like the stuff. Do you want to go see BB King? I'm like, yeah. And so I went for free. And again, same as the James Brown. 2 nights in a row, I had my elbows on the subs at Lulu's and BB King and Lucille were right there. Like I could have like grabbed him.
Insane.
And
That's
he was
very
right
cool.
there. And so, yeah, so now there were some opening acts, and I think over the 2 nights it changed because one night it was Mel Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Who is I believe is he from Kitchener?
If not,
Well, yeah, he made Kitchener his home.
Yeah.
Eventually, yeah. But for sure. Yeah, he was Kitchener.
If Brian Boppin Zinger is watching this, there's your Mel Brown, buddy. Okay.
Yeah.
So I did see him play, but we also saw Deacon Jones.
heard of him.
And Slick Rock and Rick, whoever that was.
Wow.
Now, Deacon Jones, I think, played. I think there's a Rolling Stones connection there. He was a keyboard guy. So there may have been a Stone. I have to look that up.
Okay.
But I've got all the box candy here. There's the sticker that was stuck to the cellophane. I always cut out the stickers and keep them.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a ticket stub from when I saw BB King in Saskatoon. Yeah, see, there you go, Mike.
Yeah,
That's
we
cool.
saw BB King. This is the last time we saw him, 2002, May 10th, at the Centennial Auditorium in Saskatoon. But that's another whole story. There's a little thing that was in the box. Here's the newspaper article from going to see him that time.
wow.
And there's a little, you know how you go to church and you get a little flyer? There's Deacon Jones.
Ah,
You get a little, it's like a little program about him.
Yep.
Deacon Jones and the Vortex Blues Band. But, and there's a matchbook from Lulu's. I kept a matchbook from Lulu's. I didn't know that was in here.
That's very cool. Actually,
Now,
yeah, you know, Eric, there's a lot of people locally that would love to see a photo of that.
yeah.
That's cool, man.
that's classic.
There's the logo, the old Lulu's logo.
I don't remember putting that in there, and none of the matches are struck.
Mint condition. That's collector's material, man.
Yeah, for sale, $1 million cheap.
Yep.
Now, at the end of every gig, BB King, he, of course, the band keeps vamping on a riff, right? Like they just keep going to keep everybody pumping at the end of a show, and he will set Lucille down, or somebody will come take Lucille, they used to. I mean, he's passed now, rest in peace.
Yeah.
And he would come down to the front of the show, front of the stage, and of course, I was right there, so like I could have tied his shoes for him. And he goes into his pocket. He has the suit coat pocket, and he comes out with this handful of something, and he's throwing to the crowd. And he throws a few on the stage for the people up front to grab and stuff. And these were little lapel pins.
Oh my God. Is that like brass or something?
What?
Is that brass or something?
No, it's just plastic. It's gold plastic.
Okay.
Here, I'll put it on my forehead so you can see it there.
There you go.
But yeah,
That's cool.
it's just a lapel pin. Like the little pinch lapel pin. And I got, for some reason, I have two of them.
Lucky.
Anyway, he was throwing these out to the crowd, and that was kind of cool. And I remember I grabbed a handful, and he gave me this look. But then I turned around and I was passing them to the people behind me, and then I was okay.
Wow, that's cool.
Because they weren't going to get one. But this is the main part of the box.
Is that autographed?
That is his autograph.
Wow.
Very cool.
How that worked was you were talking, I felt so bad because you were talking about at the Alice Cooper show, and she was holding up the pen and the thing. Now, I brought this booklet with me to the shows, and I clipped a Sharpie to it with the lid off. And because I was so close, and I'm 6'2", I just held the thing up like this, and it hit him right in the chest.
Oh my God.
Right? Because I'm tall enough. It was right there for him. And so he just grabbed it and he signed it, and he clipped the pen back to it, the Sharpie back to it, and he handed it back down to me.
Wow.
And it was just me and him. And he looked me right in the eye, and all I could do was go, "Thank you," like this, right? Like, oh my God. And he just did this.
Oh.
And then he went on to the next person. So I had my 3 seconds with BB King.
Not to mention you assaulted him with a notepad.
No. I was just I wasn't hitting him with it. I was just holding it.
Your
up.
exact words were, "I hit him with it."
No. Okay. It would have got him in the chest. Yeah. I didn't. So anyway, yeah. After the show, I also met Deacon Jones, and I also met that Slick Rock and Rick guy.
That Slick Rock and Rick autograph is going to earn you major coin.
No, but that was the big reveal, was the box set, booklet, because that's just
very cool.
That's just the booklet from the box set with all the pictures and stuff in it, and
Well, that's something you've got to keep forever.
Oh yeah, this isn't going anywhere. And then the CDs are buried inside. There's 4 CDs in there, so yeah, that's my number one.
It's a heck of a number one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so it's all on you now. You got to close the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I can't. I certainly can't do any show and tell, and It's another legend, but I don't know if I can top that. But March 26, 2006. This was my favorite show right after this happened. It's been my favorite show since, and I don't see how it's ever going to change. And it really shouldn't. Everything was set up for it not to be my favorite show. In January of 2006, I broke my ankle in 3 places.
The infamous.
And I got like a lot of hardware in my left ankle. So that's January 26th, 2006. Exactly 3 months to the day, I am in Toronto, walking around with a cane. And I'm there with Tom Morwood, I believe, Scott Jeff Ross, and Joe Perry, who LeBrain knows well.
Big no.
And Joe Perry doesn't make anything easy. And I was lagging behind, walking to the show, which was in Toronto at the Convocation Hall of U of T. I was lagging behind because I was walking with a cane and was not, So I was in a bad mood, and Joe Perry's screaming at me, mocking me. I'm like, oh man, I'm really not in the mood for this. And then we go to the Convocation Hall, and we're in the balcony. And Convocation Hall is very tiny staircases going up, and it was agonizing to get up to that balcony. And I'm like, this sucks. And then all of a sudden, the greatest show I've ever seen which was Chris Christopherson.
Oh.
And everything about that show was perfect. You were seeing, and it's funny because in my number 1 slot and my number 2 slot, both those guys are actors. And I think it makes a difference. Guys who know how to perform, and a legend like Christopherson. It was just the coolest thing I've ever seen. Ronnie Hawkins was, I was sitting in the front row, and he kept on talking to him in between songs, and they'd share stories. And you could hear Ronnie Hawkins talking because it's a pretty small venue. So like you're hearing these stories, and I saw something that I've never seen at any show before or since, not like this, where song's done, and it's just a Chris Christopherson and a guitar. There's no other people. It's like, so it's pretty amazing. And people are screaming songs out like you hear it at whatever show. And someone from the very other side of the balcony goes, "Play Johnny Lobo!" And he literally stops in his tracks and looks up and goes, "I can play Johnny Lobo." And he played it. And I'm like, I've never seen a guy take a cue from the audience quite like that. He was the coolest guy I've ever seen live, and it will always be my favorite show.
Wow.
Yeah, amazing.
I don't know if you've ever told me that story, man. I don't remember you ever telling me that story.
Yeah, it's been my favorite show ever since. I can't see it stopping. And, it's kind of ironic that we're doing this whole thing now, because we literally may never have the same kind of concert experience again.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I don't know how different it's going to be and how long it's going to be but I remember them now because we may never really get the true concert experience ever again.
Well, that's a hard pill to swallow. I mean, they just announced today Rhapsody Barrel Bar closing in.
Yeah, that's sad. That's very sad.
And it was the Button Factory in Waterloo's in trouble. I don't know if they're closing, but they're in trouble. And there was another closure just not that long ago. I mean, it's
Chainsaw closed.
Yeah. And
there was another one that closed. I can't remember right now. Oh, well, the Boathouse, I believe.
The Boathouse was, that was one.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Sad.
I have posted the link. If any, now that we are at the very end, we've been on for over 3 hours. Or at least I've been on
this is a long time.
3 hours. This is a record. I've never gone over 3 hours before.
Seems like 3 minutes.
I am in witness protection.
And I posted the link. If Rob Daniels or Kevin Simister or anybody else wants to join us, Rob, I want to plug your show tonight, the Bigfoot episode of Visions and Sound.
Yeah.
Kevin, if you want to join us and plug what you're doing, feel free. But I mean, here I am. I've been talking for 3 hours.
Yeah, it's been a long haul, but a good one.
Yeah, a good one.
I'll good one.
Very, very briefly mention what's going on next weekend, and that's Sausage Fest. I have unfortunately decided to opt out for this 1 year, simply due to COVID. Nothing against Sausage Fest, of course, but I'm taking extreme precautions this year. I'm being super quarantined and super isolated this year. People who know me know I've been in like 3 stores since COVID started. So I have just decided to opt out this year, and it hurts me, but I want you guys to have a fucking awesome weekend next weekend. I wish I could be there. In lieu of being at Sausage Fest next weekend, I'm going to do a solo stream. I'm just going to go solo because most of my buddies aren't going to be around. So I'm just going to chat with whoever is around. And then the topic of next week is going to be friendship.
Well, you got to get Daniels on, man.
I want to get Daniels on, but next week I'm going solo.
Okay,
I have a show lined up with Daniels. He's already finished his list. We're doing top soundtracks, and of course, you guys are welcome to participate.
Well, that's totally up his alley.
Rob is taking it one step further.
Of course,
he said to me, he goes, "Do you mean soundtracks or scores?" And I said, "Both." Well, my list is going to be a combination of both. And he goes, "I can't do that. I need to do one of each." So Rob is doing 2 lists for the top soundtracks of all time. He's doing a soundtrack and a score list, and I'm trying to get my sister involved for that show. She's dragging her feet a little bit. She's happy to do the list, but I kind of want her to co-host with Rob.
That's cool.
Ryan's had 2 shows postponed and 1 refunded since COVID started. Kevin wants to know who we haven't seen yet that we want to cross off the bucket list.
Neil Young.
Maiden.
Steely Dan.
Ryan will burn a tent in my honor. This goes back to the year of the broken tent where I burned it. And I left the remains for him to clean up, and he's never forgiven me for that.
No. It's you left the remains to smolder in people's faces for hours, so they had to breathe it in. That was the problem.
There has been a tent. Yeah.
Here's another one that I would add to my list I still haven't seen is Metallica.
Hey, Rob!
In people's faces for hours, so they had to Rob Daniels. That was there
has been a tent. Yeah.
Here's another one that I would add to my
Window's
list.
open, Rob. You got to close your Facebook window.
Hey, Rob! In people's faces for hours, so they had to Rob Daniels.
There we go.
Well, that was cool. That was like a Star Trek time warp thing.
Yeah, that was
Anytime
kind of
somebody
neat.
clicks this link, they got to close the Facebook window, or it's gonna because there's that time delay. So, Rob, we got Bigfoot tonight. Oh, your volume's really low. I don't know if I can hear you that well.
There. How am I being heard?
Not bad.
Yeah, better now.
That's better.
So you mentioned earlier that you're not doing the obvious thing and doing Harry and the Hendersons.
Nope. I am doing something that, since we're doing show and tell here, quickly. Bionic Woman.
What?
2.
What? Is that a bionic woman? Is that what you said?
Bionic Woman
Like-
sound.
With a
Like Lindsay Wagner?
Wagner.
That's awesome.
what is that? A Bigfoot on the
I'm
cover?
impressed Pete knew what that was.
That is awesome.
That is.
Is that? Wait a second. Andre the Giant?
What's his name? Ted Lindsay. Guy played Lurch on the Addams Family.
Oh,
Well, the guy who played Bigfoot on The $6 Million Man was Andre the Giant.
I believe so.
I don't know about the Bionic Woman one, though.
well,
That's wild.
Yeah, I've got. Let's see what else is coming up for that one.
Woman. Wow.
Yeah, Smallfoot, which I don't have a cover for,
Smallfoot.
which is a Lalo Schifrin score.
Smallfoot, like, is that a condition?
You know what they say about guys with small feet.
Smallfoot. Yeah.
think that's
It's
what
true. I've heard that. So you will be on at midnight on CKWR
that'll be me.
or Facebook. I guess you do the Facebook live thing as well.
Do the Facebook.
And those are the things you're talking about tonight? Is that what you mean? Oh, nice.
I mean, I'll be doing The Man Who Killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot.
Both.
I've heard about that. Yes, I've heard about those.
About 2 years ago, and I just recently obtained the score for it. So yeah,
That's very cool.
that's going to be on as well. Primal Rage, a film from a few years back. But yeah, Abominable, Smallfoot, and of course the Bionic Woman score.
That's cool.
I have a couple of Bionic Woman scores. They've never released the $6 Million Man score, but you can hear a little bit of the theme used in this particular because it was a crossover episode between I was actually a two-parter season ender, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there was a crossover episode.
Announcement.
Yes.
I've just been informed by the breaking news that the Habs are out of the playoffs.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, oh, there she is. She's all happy.
Did you hear that? Did you hear her woo-hoo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to die real soon. This phone is going to die real soon. So I just want to quickly say, Rob, it's good to see him. I hope you're doing well. Aaron, great list. With a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's awesome shit.
I was extremely impressed.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Same.
This is actually the first time we've spoken in any sustained way, so it's a real honor to finally get to talk to the Uncle Meat.
Spoken in any way.
Yeah, no, it was great, man. Like I think we both had some very interesting picks back and forth of some legends. It's wild.
Well, everybody's
stuff.
lists. Everybody.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
absolutely.
This was a great
And
idea.
Mike, thank you very much for everything. But I gotta go. I'm gonna die. I gotta go rob a bank or something.
A couple weeks.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya. Yeah. See ya. Okay, guys.
And I'm gonna be calling it a night soon too because I have to eat some dinner.
I gotta go rob a bank or something.
You gotta go rob a bank.
I gotta go eat some dinner, so I'm gonna be calling it a night soon. And Rob, you gotta get ready for your real show.
Dinner? It's 20
Yeah,
to 10.
I know.
What are you doing?
All I had to eat earlier was a Slim Jim.
Snap it.
You know what? We wouldn't judge you if you were eating while you
Eating
were
right now? No.
Yeah.
I gotta, dude, my voice. I'm gonna be hoarse tomorrow. But Rob, I do want to line you up for a future that soundtrack show that we've been talking about. I was saying earlier that next week I'm going to go solo. I'll open it up to the public at the end. But next week's live stream is going to be on the subject of friendship with musical connections therein. Aaron, you might get a special mention here. You never know. And then after that, the following week, Deke has a special guest lined up that I'm not going to mention just in case everything falls through.
Right.
I don't want to jinx everything. So maybe in 3 weeks we can all reconvene.
Sure.
Sounds good to me.
I'm just happy to be anywhere. So
Well, do you remember Rich Little? Remember Rich Little, the comedian?
who's a comedian?
Rich Little. Remember Rich Little? He was a comedian. He was an impressionist.
Yeah.
He used to do a Reagan impression. And it went, at my age, I'm happy to be anywhere.
Yeah. I always think of Keith Richards. He always says that.
What if LeBrain laughed while eating? Not pretty. Harrison has a very good point. So that
I've
is
seen
why I
it.
eat off camera.
I've seen it.
Aaron shared meals with me many times.
Oh, yes.
We have
That's
broken
fine.
bread at the table of rock.
Yes. In Toronto.
Yep, in
At
Toronto.
Popper's Pub.
And in Kitchener, we went to Subway one night after a Toronto trip with Jen.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We picked Jen up in there. Yep. I remember that too. Yep. Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, Rob, I'm going to try to catch your show tonight. I'm feeling pretty wired, so it probably won't be a problem to at least catch the first bit of it.
Right.
And Aaron, I will be chatting with you in the near future as well.
Bring it.
Well,
Thank you for including me.
I don't know if Ryan wants me to eat something on camera or not, but I'm not going to eat on camera. So you guys take care. This has been a 3-hour, 15-minute stream, world record.
I'm ready to go. What do you want to talk about now?
You want to hear about the James Brown show? That,
So-
that,
Brown.
that great James Brown story about my friend Scott who got kicked out of the show?
Yeah, how do you get kicked out of a James Brown show? Real quick.
Really quick. My friend was working for Rogers Television at the time.
Yeah.
So he wanted to get an interview with James Brown. He had sort of tentative plans, tentative permission to do that. He gets to the venue, and the band, three members of the band come out and are wondering where to eat. So Scott says, "Hey, I know where you can go." So they hop in his car, go off, and they go have something to eat. Comes back, band members go out off to the backstage. My friend Scott goes in and says, "I have tentative arrangement with Mr. Brown." Guy walks back, comes out and says, "I'm sorry, you're going to have to leave the show. Mr. Brown wants you out." He goes, "What?" And it was like, I don't know what he thought was going on or something like that. I don't know what he thought was what he was told, but he said, "Mr. Brown wants you to leave right now."
Wow. Maybe the band members went back and said, "Boy, these locals don't know their restaurants. That was crap. Get rid of that guy."
Maybe.
No idea what happened, but it was one of my friend Scott was just like flabbergasted.
Wow.
This was at Lulu's, and this was just like,
Yeah.
But
Weird.
like he got along great with the band while they were having dinner. So I don't know what happened.
Maybe got along too great with him.
I guess I don't know.
Well, James Brown had a bit of a reputation, and I'm sure his wife would concur with that he was maybe a little up and down in his temper. So it could have been something else that set him off, and then he just didn't want to do any interviews.
That's weird, but wow, what a story.
Yeah, it was bizarre when he told me that. I was, again, these are shows that I was supposed to go to, but didn't because at that time I was working and just couldn't get the time off to do it.
Yeah.
So he would go to these great shows. He was actually supposed to cover the last Stomp and Tom show as well.
Oh.
That was that last show at Lulu's.
We know what happened there.
Yeah.
And Aaron, if you don't know, Lulu's canceled the show, and Stompin' Tom was not impressed. He said it was the first and only time anybody's ever canceled one of his shows.
Who the hell would cancel Stompin' Tom?
Lulu's.
Why?
And then
Did
they went
give a
under.
reason?
Then they went under.
Well, no wonder. Did they give a reason why they canceled Stompin' Tom?
I can't remember, but it might have been ticket sales. Don't remember.
Ridiculous. I don't care if it's 4 people. Let the man play.
No kidding. It's Stompin' Tom.
Jesus.
There you get, anyway.
Yes.
Thank you so much for appearing tonight, and I will talk to you both very, very, very soon.
Yeah,
Rob, have a great show tonight, and Aaron, you go. I don't know. Just worship your BB King collection.
No problem. I do that all the time. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Hey, guys.
Rock on. Rock on.
How do I do this again?